long time. He's the best rated player of the tournament. He's almost the #1, like through the HLTV like voting for the best players of the year. But I was overtaking him in that way. But in the same time, Simple is doing his wonderful things as he always does. Clutches, aces, pistol, leagues. I think there's one specific moment actually I remember from the game against VP on train when he was like actually having an AWP and lower like on the bomb side. Instead of using the AWP, he just used the deagle because he's that good.
Yeah, I mean, if you get it like that, I mean, get it how you live, they say, or somebody says. Let's hear what Simple had to say last year at Katowice.
2011, last time the Navi's name was scribbled on to that trophy. What were you doing back then, back in 2011?
2011, I think I was 14. I was start to play CES to grind for this trophy because this trophy is insane. It's not like ESL 1 Cologne trophy or something like this. Intel Extreme Masters, you know, and it's insane for me.
In a career full of highlights, what does it mean to you right now to have won this trophy, to have your team Navi scribbled across it?
I just understand that all work that we did, it was very insane. And all my teammates feel this power right now. And when you sit and just enjoy your teammates' highlights all the time, it's just the best feeling.
Has to be the best feeling, especially for Simple, touted as a world's best. Maybe not even anyone even remotely close from time to time, but I guess there are. That's all up for debate. It's all hearsay. Guys, I'm talking about what there is between Simple versus Shiro, because you have to look at the other side now as a guy in Shiro that has done plenty throughout his time in Katowice this year.
I mean, he has. I mean, he's like the best clutcher of the tournament. I think it's like 13 or something like that. And apparently we have Electronic Perfecto between it. But in the same time, Shiro and Simple. Teaser. Yeah, but it was a teaser for that matchup between them two. But, you know, Shiro versus Simple, that's going to be a very interesting matchup because I don't think that they have played that much against each other. I know the track record of Navi in the bigger picture, they have problems against CS teams. So it's going to be interesting to see Gambit with Shiro, you know, spearing ahead and being the Reaper there, basically being the whole tournament, if they can actually take down the bigger brother, basically.
And you can see he's leading in a number of different categories in this tournament. The ones to really look out for are the opening kill success that you've just seen, the highest rated in the tournament with the AWP. You see that he also won, well, 12 clutches, not 7. I think the next best guy has won 7 clutches. So he almost doubles the next guy in terms of clutch ability, and he's the second highest rated player in the tournament. So a bunch of different things where he's excelling at. Sure, Gambit played maybe a little bit more maps than some of the other teams, so like the clutch factor, right? But some of these other things are percentage-wise and based off of rounds, so it doesn't really change how many rounds you played in total. And Simple versus Shiro, I think that's going to be one that we're going to talk a lot of in the future.
Yeah, we talk about clutches, but really it's just the impact that you see from Shiro, because it is undeniable, it's undisputable, it's numbers, it's all there. And for Shiro, they've certainly got their work cut out for them today, as Gambit have had basically this entire time. So we can take a look at their tournament run up to this point and basically how it's all shaped up and formed up for the Gambit squad. What's your guys' take on their performance here? They've obviously netted themselves quarterfinals appearance, but overall, how are we feeling going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think Chris said a couple of times, don't sleep on them, and I didn't sleep on them. I had, like, my expectations were high. Then they lost the first game to EG. I was like, okay, they're not going to do anything. And then they beat everyone in the lower bracket. So now I again have, like, you know, high expectations from them in a sense of I don't think they're going to win this game. I'm just hoping for them to show enough, like, to really make Navi sweat for it, right? I still see Navi at the start of this year, they've been playing on such a insanely high level, right? All those little things that maybe they were missing to really, you know, be the #1. It seems like they got that figured out now. You know, mentally they're a bit stronger. You know, that comeback in the opening game against VP, 11-4 down in the first half, winning 12-0 in the second half as Tion does too. Those are just like statement wins, right? Where you really putting yourself in like, no, we're not gonna, you know, lose the first game of the tournament again. You know, we got everything figured out.
Now, speaking of statements, there's probably a few statements to be made, and I'm pretty sure we were all discussing this beforehand, which was the 4-day break leading up to this, and what that does, you know, on the smaller scale of things when it comes down to the vetoes, and just how intricate it could get with a 4-day break playing into it, Yenko.
Yeah, I think this one is particularly interesting because the first picks for both teams are the perma-bans of their opponents, right? So Gambit doesn't play Nuke, Navi loves it. Navi doesn't play it Vertigo, Gambit loves it. So now when you know which 5 maps are in play, it gets really interesting to see what these teams want to do in these 4 days. You can do anything. Like Gambit, they had a 14-map win streak on Overpass coming into this tournament. They picked it 2 times, lost it both times. Do they still go for it now, like with extra time to prepare? Or they go for something like Mirage where they're a bit more comfortable? Same thing for Navi. Like they almost seem stubborn into how many times they would pick Nuke. Their other go-to pick is Train. But Gambit is also pretty good on train. Do you want to risk that? Do you maybe want to try and punish them on something like Inferno, right? Like, there's a lot of different options. I think Dust 2 would probably be the best one for now.
But the overall sentiment is there will be no comfort picks today in this series, at least.
Yeah, the main picks are out.
Yeah, the main picks are out, and like it's already like Janko is saying, you know, both of the teams have their own permaban, so that's gonna go off directly of the window. I'm not gonna be shocked if they're gonna remove that, because I don't think Gambit is that team is gonna go for, you know, a cheesy pick, you know, trying to get the Navi off guard and like try to fight them, and it's pretty obvious. Nuke and Vertigo is banned instantly. There's no question about it. But then it's at the same time, overpass.
I like that. I like this from Gambit. You know, their confidence is not shook. In a sense of they lost it the 2 times they picked it. Those games were a little bit weird against CG. They lose an anti-eco late into the game that really makes the game slip away from their grasp. And we see now with the train pick, that can be a little bit, you know, tricky perhaps. But again, I love it because historically, the great teams are great on a map because they're really good playing the harder side. Yeah. Why Navi is a great train team? Not because they get like 15 rounds on CT side, you know, every other time. No, it's because they can always grind out that T-half, even without the pistol round, even with a bad start, and you know, predictions speak for themselves.
Yeah, they really do. So Machine's gone with Gambit. He is going to be the one going against the grain. This is kind of a thing we're doing around here now, where one person goes against the grain. Now, Navi, an obvious favorite coming to this regardless, because you think, okay, not only do they have the firepower, everybody at this level pretty much has the firepower, but this is a proven lineup. This is a lineup that we've seen excel in these situations.
Yeah, and like my prediction, like in through the whole like main tournament, I've always actually voted for Gambit in any matchup. But they go against Navi. That's a completely different story, and it's the big brother basically. Like, so they, like both comparing both of the teams, Navi's been more successful, more, you know, being there for a longer time, and Simple is looking for, you know, 2 years in a row taking back, you know, back-to-back Katowice trophy.
Yeah, and that's what they're looking to do. Keep their hopes alive. Don't let their dreams be memes. We're gonna be jumping into the game right now. Navi and Gambit ready to square off on Overpass. The pick of Gambit, Navi starting on the CT side. This is the playoffs.
Oh, it's the playoffs indeed, and I am so excited to get into this Navi versus Gambit matchup. My, oh my, Hugo, we're here. We're in the playoffs, and CIS, they're in the playoffs as well. However, one of them has to make an exit today, while the other's set to continue. I love this story of CIS just turning on itself, essentially. And already, a bit of a monster play in from Gambit. That opening kill is going to go a long way in setting them up well to win this round. The Pistols not keen to rush in just yet. Now make their presence known out through Monster, and they have dealt with Electronics. Suddenly B looking like it's ripe for the taking for Gambit.
Yeah, Navi not stacking it outside of spawn, right? And look at Nafany, he's holding on a rotate. Simple as run, and even though he begins to walk, his footsteps will be heard. He's being baited into the fight. He's not going to check his corner, but Nafany doesn't take the shot, stalling it out until the last possible second. 4-on-2, almost insurmountable odds for Navi to get back into this round. Boomich is being pressured, and they'll hunt him down. It's only Perfecto, 1-on-3, and he already wants to save his armor. Probably the right call, given the situation. Gambit, off to a strong start. It is their map pick in the series, right? As Janko put on the desk, both these teams banning their opponent's best map, which is also their perma. So this is going to be super exciting. This is going to be super interesting to see, you know, not only can Gambit take their map pick, but Navi, they've had their fair share of troubles on train as of late. Even last year, we saw some as well. So I'm wondering if that's going to come into play today, coming off the back of a big win streak for Navi, 10 matches in a row before Liquid finally put that to rest. Navi want to get back on the board.
And I gotta say, right, I think the overpass pick is very, very strong for this Gambit squad, right? It's a map that we know they fare well on, and it's one that Navi struggle on a hell of a lot, right? And it's a bit of a weird one because it used to be a good map for the Navi of old. Oh, Simple getting stuck in with that scout opens up this force fight and sets you off on a 5-on-4 if you're Navi. Gambit keen to trade that back, but nothing's going to present itself here, to at least over towards the A-bomb site. And so this might mean their hands feel kind of tied here as they start to go back through T-spawn, looking for an equalizer down on lower.
Yeah, one thing that makes it super exciting is after the 4-day break coming into playoffs, right? We talk about teams anti-stratting, we talk about teams watching their opponents' demos, knowing what maps are going to come through. Well, this isn't a map Na'Vi have even been playing as of late, right? They played it once this tournament, they lost it to Liquid after a near massive comeback on that second half. So it's not like Gambit are really going to be looking at Na'Vi and going through demos and saying, oh, this is what they do. Because on the Na'Vi side of things, well, there's not that much, data to pour through. So Gambit very much focusing on their own game, I imagine, in this opening map, but that's what's got them here, and it's what's going to get them into this B site. So you hope. Perfecto holding with one, Inter's trying to trade, but Na'Vi aren't giving away the picks. Finally, Hobbit finds something, but Boomich down the connector with a lot of damage that might get finished off by the HE. It goes far, and Boomich backs up, knowing Gambit aren't committing into that B site, which is stacked. And right now, Gambit, I mean, this is a very, very sticky situation to be in. No health, no control, 20 seconds, the save is the right call.
Yeah, and but a horrible call to have to make. You go into that wanting to build this momentum up early on, and it's just like right away, as soon as you step out of spawn, things are off the rails for you. Boomich is even hunting down these saving players, and if he even gets away with one, it's going to be devastating, but he doesn't look in the right corner. Hobbit, I'll hold on to the AK at least. I think a little kept in play as well. But yeah, man, no, that round must have just felt like it went from bad to worse, right? You lose a player early on to Simple Scout over in mid, that Shiro out of the round, and then you try to crunch in towards this B site, and things just keep getting worse and worse by the kill, and you're not able to trade it at any point. So yeah, bit of a rough one for Gambit. They keep these weapons in play at least. NAVI very happy with a victory like that, knowing now that they're in a position to springboard themselves into an early lead.
Yeah, winning that force is so profitable as well. NAVI bailed themselves out of having to hard eco for a couple of rounds and then get guns in the fourth. It's not exactly running AWPs in round number 3, but Simple and the Scout might just be as deadly. And an equal pair of rifles on either side. Boomich holding a gap in the toilet. He sees one and he gives it up. NAVI just playing for that information early. Simple doing the same with the Scout, watching for that short control. No one looking at long, but Boomich has it on a timing, and he'll swap sides with Simple. Doesn't want to be caught out in the open and get walked up on the toilets. That's in fact exactly what's happening, and NAVI don't know it until it's already too late.
Oh, regardless, Simple is just nailing these scout shots. Boomich, oh, the flash kind of helps him. They don't check for it. Oh, Boomich a third in the round. And there it is, the lock-in, the flash, man. It left Boomich blind, but instead of like spamming out of panic, he just waits. He just waits while he's flashed. And the fact that he hasn't opened up, he hasn't like fired any shots, means that they don't check him. They're like, well, we're not dead from long, so long's clear. And Boomich is allowed to get away with 3 as a result. That's a bit of a rough situation for Gambit.
The turn on Axile as well. How does he get away with a third? Oh, filthy scenes. And yeah, that was a nice contact play from Gambit. NAVI actually had no information. They had no knowledge those T's were even so close. And out of nowhere, a flash that could have just rendered Boomich dead and given a bomb plant to Gambit, right? That one kill that needs to come through makes all the difference in that round. It would have been a plant with Gambit with AKs in the toilets. But no, denied by the Boomich. And now it's a full eco. Now Gambit go, all right, let's level our money out. Let's start to build it up. NAVI, on the other hand, are well armed. Gambit aren't being given anything yet again. Down in connector is Simple with the SMG. He can find timings, he can aggress, he can catch Gambit, moving up A short. Or he can just sit back and wait. There's the footsteps getting heard on A, and Simple, of course, hits the perfect timing. No one watching for him. This should be a freebie. Hobbit's out of the picture, and Boomich flashed again, although when has that ever put a stop to him, especially with Electronic side by side, and Boomich cleans up 3 once again. Good looking for Boomich to start this map.
Yeah, another thing that I think is pretty exciting is like in that Liquid game, if you remember that NAVI Liquid game that rounds things out, where Liquid looked really, really good. Simple was pretty quiet in that game. I think it was one of his quietest maps in the event so far, because other than that, he's been fairly lights out. And I was hoping that would really, like push Simple to bring his A game into these playoffs, as though he wasn't going to anyway, right? Yeah. But having this little break beforehand for teams to get ready, for everyone to get their heads put together, I think it's going to produce some really high-level scenes, and I already love what we're seeing out of guys like Simple, like Boomich. It is very, very exciting. Gambit now in with the investment, right? AWP on Shiro. Rifles out for everyone else. Still a lot of Galils in play to facilitate utility in a round like this. So let's see if that comes back to punish Gambit at all. It should be all right. The run boost to get Shiro over. It's simple. Plucks him out of thin air. Man advantage taken, and Na'Vi sat 5-on-4 again with the kill going untraded.
An audacious peek, we'll call it there for Shiro. And I like the try, right? Definitely gets a rifle that's going to catch him off guard, but simple sniping him down. And 3 on this A site. Na'Vi have no fear. We're playing lax on B. They're even drawing a 4th rotation in the form of Flamey. What a ballsy call. They don't even have any information. They're just guessing, and they've guessed correctly. Boomich aggressing it long. Will he receive a flash? No need. He catches Inters, swapping between nades. Bomb at his feet, and this is just all too easy for Na'Vi right now. Axile giving it a go, but it's too little, too late. Boomich with 3 again. That's 3 rounds in a row with triple kills from Boomich, leading by example.
I love it. I love what we're seeing out of Boomich right now. You know, like this is the Na'Vi you wanted to see when you hit playoffs, right? This is them coming alive again. This is the defending champions of Katowice. And that's exactly what we wanted to see. Bit of a rough round for Shiro, right? Especially when you think about how much focus has been on this guy. It was exciting to see him bring that AWP out. And you were wondering, well, what's he going to get done with it? Well, run boosted to his death, ultimately, is his fate over towards long side.
But, you know, that being said, we definitely need to keep our eyes on Shiro in this series. He has been one of the top performers in almost all stat lines coming into this this playoff match.
The amount of clutches he has had is just unreal. Like
clutches, ADR, AWP kills per round. Kills per round. I mean, he's been up there in almost every capacity. Safe to say, Gambit have played a lot of maps in this tournament. But even so, for such a young team, formerly known as the Youngsters was this Gambit roster, well, now they're the big boys, and they're here in the playoffs up against Na'Vi. Easier said than done, and every round Gambit have had to use a smoke to extinguish that Molotov. The one round they don't buy it is this eco, and look at the ground Na'Vi have gained as a result. Boomich has pushed all the way through middle to play party, and Gambit can't even touch mid. Oh, Hobbit getting wall banged.
I really like to believe, based on what we're seeing from Na'Vi here, that they went away and they've taken a look at Overpass over these last few days, because it has been, you know, pretty consistently one of the maps that makes them look very, very beatable. And it used to be a map they were good on. And like already you're noting a lot of changes here, right? You've got Boomich and Simple playing over towards this A bomb site. Well, Electronic actually used to be the guy that used to attempt these like long pushes a lot on the CT side. Instead, he's normally found, you know, playing this kind of rotation swing role. And even though Inters is getting away with that 1D, that's the extent of this round for Gambit. So Na'Vi are already approaching this like differently to what we've seen in the past. And it's already looking a lot more put together than what we've seen in the past. That's scary in my eyes, because like this is the one map that I think a lot of teams have been able to look at and go, yeah, we can get them to look vulnerable there as long as we're good at it. And so if they have dedicated some time into fixing their overpass, ooh-wee, Na'Vi, they just got that much more excited.
Yeah, one thing that's scary for Gambit as well is the money is starting to build out of control, right? Once you get these orbs around on the CT side, once you start getting your money in your pocket, you can be a terrifying team on this CT half. Simple's always holding for the 5-stack boost. He regularly plucks people out of the air with M4s, not just orbs as well. But Gambit aren't giving it a go. Safe to say, Na'Vi are not the team you should ever pull that boost against, because I've seen Simple kill that top player far too many times. But yeah, Gambit need back-to-back rifle rounds and then some to break this money of Na'Vi, and it's easier said than done. Simple with another, finding the opener out towards B, and now we can just float. We know what Simple likes to do on all CT sides, stay very mobile, stay very active, show the AWP on one side of the map, and then rotate out. That's exactly what he's doing. Boomich with a backstab, but Shiro comes in behind on long, and Boomich is looking the wrong way. It's about time he was put down. Simple, oh, very close.
Oh no, there we go. Nafany in with that opener. And now that you know that you've dealt with Simple, this A site just got that much more tempting. Flamey is found in rotation, and they know that Electronic is here, trying to make his last stand behind the truck. Electronic, they're all over him, and Hobbit's going to get the kill. Bomb now down, and Perfecto coming in on this late lurk. But this is someone else who's been good in clutches, right? Perfecto versus Shiro, going to go head-to-head. Inters as well, holding over here towards the long side. Doesn't want to give this kill away, as Perfecto's now picking up a bit of steam in towards long. Sneaking up with the AUG out. Bomb timer ticking against it. Perfecto, he's seen the barrel, he's seen the peak, and now he's in with the swing. Shiro left in another one of these clutches, and he's so damn reliable in them. A nice try from Perfecto to get that from a 1v3 to a 1v1, but you ain't getting past Shiro in those situations.
Yeah, very risky play for Shiro, right? After the barrel gets spotted, he just swaps out to the AK and takes the fight head up, right? Could have played the bomb, could have played the time, but the confidence is there for Gambit, which is something good, right? You do want them believing that they can take down Navi in this series. And for Navi, you know, they've got to battle through CIS teams all the way to the grand final if that's where they want to go, if they want to repeat their Katowice of last year. Spirit and Gambit both in the way. Nades being set up outside of B, no one on the boost. Electronic is passive enough that he will avoid significant damage, and in fact any at all. And then jumps up after the boost, because why would they do it twice? Simple back up to his usual tricks, and Navi playing 4 out of B. This doesn't have to remain for long, right? Gambit are on a standard default. They're split up. Bomb is outside this B site, so we might see this being the late round play. But they at least want to show some presence in mid. Because as far as Gambit are aware right now, everywhere they've gone, there's been 3, if not more, Navi players waiting. Some of that being gambles, but a lot of it just being, you know, the quiet on the other side of the map. If no one's peeking, no one's shooting outside of B, well, why would Navi not put players on that top side, especially with the info we're seeing them gain, jump spotting on short, etc. Right now it's only Boomich here still calling for help. Electronic is moving on up, but this is a good ruse caused by Gambit, right? The bomb's going back, and even though Inters has no more utility, as long as he shows face first, he can try and keep these 2 players here from Navi.
Oh, Boomich has called for a 3rd man to rotate up to A. And that bomb is now back outside of B along with the rest of the team. Only Inters up at the A bomb site, selling that fake. So Perfecto and Simple have got to do a hell of a lot with very little. And Simple plucking Hobbit out of the air, that's going to go a long way. Even though Inters opens up on a Boomich, this is where Navi starts to rotate. There's 10 seconds and it's only Perfecto and Simple still down at B, but they're getting all the kills. It might not even matter. For Shiro, he's got to back out and save. He can't get past the 2 players in the site, and Inters even risks going down after time. Navi, they will show mercy to the Gambit squad as they let them both survive. They could have tried to be more punishing there, but Electronic is just focused on their money and building up money for Navi.
Yeah, and honestly, like, Gambit saving guns there isn't, you know, best case scenario by any means. It's going to force them to reinvest around it, but it won't be a pretty buy, right? More Galils, lack of utility, and right now we're seeing the struggles of that lack of util, unable to draw any fakes, even though Inter sells it pretty well on A, getting that kill up short with 20 seconds left. There just wasn't time for Gambit to rotate the bomb. If the bomb was on A, they would have had a plant for free. Instead, they're forced running into B, up against the clock. And Boomich has had enough, by the way. He's really just done with waiting around. He's going to push all the way in through middle. Navi can start to rotate down. They've still got a heavy topside setup, and Simple's already begun doing that.
Yeah, Flamey all the way over at long needs to get a move on. He realizes that as well, but the B site play is already in. So in spite of this information that Boomich gets, Navi were a long way away from rotating down, and Shiro even catches Boomich on that wraparound. This is likely just the save. It's a little bit upsetting for Navi, right? They had all the information in that round. They knew exactly what was coming. But sadly, the rotates down to B just take too long. And so Gambit hit that perfect window where Navi have 3 players pushed up on A and only a double B hold. So despite knowing it's B, that's only half the battle. And the rest of the battle happened down at that B bomb site. With no one winning their fights, it is just the save. And Gambit are on to another in this fairly, you know, lackluster buy round. You know, they didn't really have much utility, as you say, nothing to really make that work. So they're very content with this being their 3rd, that they're able to sneak past Na'Vi.
Yeah, and that's good why they speeded up as well, right? Like, you don't have the util to long out any kind of fake or throw in, you know, double execute and wait for Na'Vi to drop their smokes and then reapply the pressure. You've just got to go. And considering how free B was, Shiro is aware that, oh, wait, there's no one on this lower site. They're probably flanking. They're probably pushed deep mid. So he turns around and does deal with Boomich, who has been a bit of a beast already. So good spot for Shiro. As that kill, right, if Boomich takes down Shiro on the flank and then comes in onto B, it's suddenly a winnable round for Navi. They can play slow on that retake. And yeah, Gambit Navi, they've been facing an RMR events throughout this year, as we saw back in New York. But even before that as well, back at We Play Clutch Island, it was, you know, Gambit winning their opening game against NAVI. NAVI went on to not be happy with that result and didn't drop a single series, even beating Gambit again in the tournament. So they've had their trouble against CIS teams, but NAVI are back with a vengeance and Gambit are back to B.
Oh, but this time, Flamey is holding on to Monster, and he doesn't let them get out. It's all grinded to a bit of an uncomfortable halt here for Gambit. They were hoping that this B site was the answer to their problems, and Flamey has instead presented a hell of a lot more. Inters and Shiro still left standing at the very end of things, but Electronic to get past Simple, rotating in as well, leaving Boomich up at A.
Ooh.
Missed shot for Simple. Now that gives you an opportunity in this round. A minute still left on the clock and a 2-on-3. This is a round now you can think about attempting if you're Gambit. Flamey holding deep on the right-hand side. And he is still hearing these footsteps, still hearing that Gambit are lurking around outside of B. Inters needs to do a lot, though, to get away with an opening, and he's not going to. Flamey just pops his head off like it's nothing. And so now Shiro up through the short side, 1 versus 3 to try and find. And even though he's been great in clutches, this one might be a little too far gone. Peeks out with the AWP. First man down. Electronic going to offer himself up as well. And now just Flamey, they know where he is. Shiro, caught with the knife in hand, but still alive, still a threat. And looking to add another clutch to the tally. It's up towards the A-bomb site. So little time. But he will have enough to get that bomb down, perhaps, as he rotates on in. It's going to be close. He's there with a second left on the clock. Bomb now planted, and Flamey throwing into the 1v1 versus the clutch king of Gambit.
What a call, man. You could see the team call it like, oh, that's not the monster player that killed me. There's one more, and he doubles back. He even considers just staying for the fight, but after getting tagged, Shiro has escaped, and he could be anywhere. Flamey knows it. Speed is his prerogative as he moves in quickly through the toilets. All the noise for Shiro in the world, and he posts up for the clutch. Gambit onto 4, and that is not something you can rely on, but that is the star power of Shiro. Maybe you can rely on him. He's been full of clutch in the tournament.
Mate, Shiro sees he's left in a 1v3 and he's like, well,
these are the best odds I've had in years.
Cracks his knuckles out. Time to shine, boys. Oh, Shiro again. Another one of these clutches. So good when it is just all eyes on him. It feels like that pressure, you know, knowing that the odds are stacked against you, that maybe Na'Vi are going to give you a few more fights than normal. That is really where Shiro thrives. And that is a great skill to have, a great little secret weapon in your arsenal if you're Gambit.
And honestly, when they were in that 3-on-1, I was just about to compliment Na'Vi on how reserved they were being, how they weren't peeking anything, how they weren't giving away the kills, right? Flamey waits for Inters to double flash Monster before he even fights him. And they weren't giving Shiro the pick into B, but Boomich, setting up a flash for the Monster peek, is the one to go down. Caught by Shiro, just peeking aggro short, and then it all just comes tumbling down for Na'Vi. And remember that max money we were talking about? That 10K per player? No longer a factor. Na'Vi's money has been whittled down by back-to-back rounds, and now suddenly Gambit are in pole position to take this game back. They'll do it till it works. These B-nades. Trying to get rid of Flamey, right? Same position as he was playing last round, but he's moved. Simple back to top, and Gambit, look how reserved, look how slow they are to approach this middle area. They do not want to get picked by the AWP with no say in the matter. Fast out long for Inters. Oh, he hasn't been spotted. Boom is just jumping. Will he be caught out off guard? No, he gets the info that time around and gives it up. No need to commit to the fight. We'll just post on the corner, and we already have another rotate coming up. Flamey and Electronic, 4 on 8. So Na'Vi again, setting up with a lax B hold. That's exactly where Gambit aim to go. If Na'Vi lose their one player Perfector with no kill, does that just force the save? That's the danger of this setup. It's a big call that Na'Vi have to make, but they're still hoping it's A. That is not the case.
Yeah, Electronic is re-aggressing in through the toilets, right? Trying to get this information ahead of time. But once again, Gambit have this little window where this B site, man, all it takes is the one kill to come in on Perfecto and the round is won. The round is theirs. Oh, double molly to force Perfecto off of the angle, and already this is not looking like a pretty round if you're Na'Vi. I'll hang about. They'll see if they can get anything to propel them into this retake. But if nothing presents itself soon, yeah, it will just be this save called in.
Yeah, these are like identical rounds from Gambit as well, where Inters is just hiding, you know, towards toilets, towards parties at different positions, and he waits for Na'Vi to re-aggress. And when he gets that kill, Na'Vi, all that does is convince them that they're right. Like, yeah, we're 4 on A for a reason. They're here. That's not the case. Gambit just storm into B. And yeah, the 4-man A7 is nice, right? Even if Electronic gets that kill, it's information. But at that point, we saw that same result for Boomich when he pushed mid on the B play and they had solo B. Gambit take it. Boomich may come in on this big flank, but Gambit are already way further than Na'Vi were ready for. And this round is no exception. It's not a bad round for Na'Vi, because considering the money, right, they can actually just reinvest. They lose one gun and they go, yeah, fine, we'll save, we'll buy up next. Alternatively, that would have been an eco for Na'Vi or a force buy at best. So yeah, it gives you back-to-back gun rounds. It's a big risk, but here's the investment for Na'Vi. And now they've got to make it worthwhile because an eco is looming on the horizon.
Yeah, Simple this time around is looking to take a gunfight early on over here in middle. And I like this. You know, Simple's been pretty restrained thus far. You know, he's been pretty slow in terms of looking for these openers, and instead is elected to play down towards that B site a hell of a lot. So this time, this AWP posted up in middle. Maybe that's something that could catch Gambit off guard. Once Simple, oh, it's only the tag. Once he's got the attention, that gives Boomich down here in Connector a lot more room, because now Gambit are invested in this A bomb site. But timing is everything for Boomich, and that second player late out through mid is good for the trade. This might be another save, honestly. You're 3 on 4. The bomb's already going down inside of A. And so this is a rough round to grind your way back into if you're Na'Vi. The nade finds good damage onto Hobbit, but that's not really something you're looking at as like a big win for Na'Vi. Without a kill presenting itself, they will start to seep their way through. They've dealt with Hobbit on the entry, and now they're interested. But half the time ticked off for this bomb. Na'Vi have got to go fast, and they've got to get past Inters in the site. There he is dropped. Shiro removed as well now. And Axile throwing in to a 1v2 clutch that he doesn't want to be in. He didn't sign up for this. Tapping that smoke. He can't get them off the bomb. They're sticking it. The shots are missing. And there's the defuse for Na'Vi. They stick it out. He will survive with the AWP at least. But it's still a 3v4 retake that shapes up for Na'Vi.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because due to how fast that round is, right, both teams have, you know, like far too much utility, or far more than you can account for on a typical retake or site take. Gambit, they set up the A execute and then they just cycle smokes in. Like you said, it looked like the save. It looked like Na'Vi realized this one's undoable, but Gambit were actually giving Na'Vi the room to run through those smokes. Hobbit gets mollied, Flamey drops a smoke on the bomb. You know, Gambit just get flushed out of the bomb site, and Na'Vi in for another round out of nowhere. Definitely a surprising one. That smoke bounces over the Molotov for Axile, and so it doesn't put out the short molly. Na'Vi now know that Gambit are not there, but they do hear the smoke bloom. Look how deep it got. That is very weird. Na'Vi now have water control. It's a big bit of information. Simple along with the AWP. Swap sides with Boomich this time around, but there's a gap in the smoke, and Boomich is looking to exploit it. He may have just missed the timing, but Gambit have been really good at getting these contact A plays in, right? Getting super deep in the toilets before Na'Vi even know where they are. However, that won't be the case today. Boomich is here to play. He's here with a pixel angle, and Gambit are throwing utility to give away their play. Boomich, does he get cleared?
Oh, no one's looking this way. Now he's given up the aim of the game, though, and so Shiro will trade that out. With no one coming up through long, Simple has been given a lot of room to work with. And there is the first for Simple. Smoke now down to cover his retreat. So he can't get just mopped up by a late long player. And Axile is moving in through this position. He also knows he's dropped the bomb, so the rotations are already here for Na'Vi. Gambit, how on earth are they meant to recover this? When this smoke fades, if they hit the timing to deal with Simple on this long play, that's going to be worth its weight in gold, because now a 3-on-3 given over. You've gotten rid of the heavy hitter, and they're now moving into this site. Wind in their sails, the late flank up through Con could decide a hell of a lot. Flamey denies that bomb plant, and with only 15 seconds left, that could be the round shaping up for Na'Vi. It's down to the clutch again for Shiro. Very little time to work with, and a bomb plant over at the truck at least keeps him safe from Flamey. Is this where Shiro puts another clutch up on the tally? Down into the bank. Flamey's not looking to withdraw. Instead, moving in. Past the flower bed, Shiro still just patient as ever. Bomb planted for him as well. A really rough spot for Flamey. Smoke is wide as well. That's a little bit devastating. He can't even just stick the defuse. He will win it out on the cross. So the clutch is denied. Oh, doesn't have a kit.
He's got it. He's got it. That's really, really good. Like, you know, play for Flame. Oh, wait. Oh, no, not even close. Oh, dear.
I told you, Hugo. I told you. I didn't want to say it. But what else can you say, man? Shiro, clutch king. We all knew he had it. There was never even a moment of doubt, in spite of what many may say.
Oh. I don't know who's hurt more by that, me or Flamey. That one is unthinkable. There's no kit on the site. There's no way for Flamey to get that defuse off faster. He gets stuck on the truck. I was just about to credit him on like, that's experience shining through for Flamey, right? Drops the smoke, he waits, he gets nothing, and then he reads that bank cross position, just nails Shiro to the wall, but it doesn't matter. And Gambit, they sneak it past the keeper. They're sneaking into B. These guys are full of surprises, and Navi are not ready for the pace set out. Nafany running them down, and they're looking the wrong way. Sprayed by the Max 10, and this is a clean-up round for Gambit, right? Get some confidence back, get a 7th round, because Navi have no money to contest. Oh boy, still reeling from that clutch. Shiro yet to lose one in this map. And this Gambit team, they are giving it to Navi right now. They are sending them a message, and it's not a warm welcome.
See, now that's an impressive stat. 42 and 13 in opening duels at the event, 6 and 1 right now. And he's even been dropped an AWP across by Perfecto to once again try and provide these openers for Na'Vi. Falling for the boost, but he's not going to get given it today.
This is it. Like, winning the half on T side would be very impressive for Gambit. We know Na'Vi can pull these comebacks for sure. They did it against Liquid after 10-5. They did fall in round 30, but they at least made it close. They at least contested it. Right now, Gambit, this is quite the recovery arc. Boomich spotting along again, playing things safe. And I got to say, in that previous round on the A site, Gambit, really good problem solving to get rid of Simple, right? When they lose the bomb on A and they realize Simple's trapped along, they just hold off. They just reset and wait for Axel to go and wait that smoke out on long. Simple can't escape because he's trapped by the AWP towards flower beds. And, well, he's not ready for the fade. Axel's sitting inside of it on the long position. So Gambit have had really, really good calling in this game for such a... Yeah, I hate the word inexperienced in an example like this because they do have experience, but, you know, in comparison to a team like Na'Vi, certainly impressive. In terms with an opener, he's been very good at finding these lurk kills on that top site while Gambit push the issue down on B, and that is again going to be the case. Flamey can drop this smoke. Na'Vi do love it. Perfecto's been flashed out. That'll try and buy them some room, but right through the smoke go Gambit until Hobbit gets flashed out, and Axel goes above to try and hunt these players in the pit. He's got them. Is he ready for Perfecto? There's cover as the bomb plant does not get denied. It's only Simple in the clutch.
Yeah, and with how deep Gambit are at B, this might be a bit of a rough one for Simple. He's trying to get round them. Hobbit, Axel, and the AWP all posted up on Simple, and so there's Shiro to lock in the 8-7 half for Gambit. They're in the lead. This was after Na'Vi were up 6-2, yet somehow now Gambit are the ones leading the charge moving into this second half.
Stand up, you've got what it takes. takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, out, out. Stand up.
Hobbit, thank you so much for joining me. You're facing Navi today. So we're definitely going to have a CIS team in the finals because we've got Gambit, Navi and Spirit all on your side of the playoffs bracket. Why do you think the CIS region has been so strong here in Katowice?
First of all, in my opinion, because of online. And online, a lot of players playing with huge confidence. So that's the main reason, in my opinion. The second thing, CIS region is playing a lot. If you're gonna see FPL games, every second or third game, 8 or 7 people who is playing from CIS. So usually when I'm playing FPL, I'm communicating in Russian because I have a full CIS team. So I think it's the second reason. Third reason is I think time just came to rise and to show ourselves. Yeah.
You haven't played against Navi so far this year. Last time you faced them was autumn and you lost. And now they are looking like the ones to be in this tournament. How do you feel about going up against them in this quarterfinal?
It's not gonna be easy for sure. For Navi and for us, we're gonna fight. We're gonna do some damage, and we will show our spirit, for sure. But it's gonna be hard because they have good, I don't know, good shape. They're #1 team right now. They have everything to win this tournament, but we will try to stop them. Yeah.
How is the best way to stop Navi?
No fear and play.
Hobbit, thank you so much. Good luck in the quarterfinals of IEM Katowice and congratulations on making the playoffs.
Thank you very much.
Gambit, they've got an ace up their sleeve. They've got a Shiro in the source, and they've got a leading half on Overpass T's side. It's looking good right now for the Gambit boys, the youngsters that were up against the Titans of CIS in Natis Vincia. But if there's one thing we know about Navi, you should never, ever take your eyes off the prize. These guys are not going to fall asleep at the halftime. Instead, coming back in with a strong T-side pistol would be the answer for Navi to solve all their problems. Simple with a P250 dropped on over, and a good bit of util to get things going for this T-side.
Yeah, Gambit running the old faithful 1 peeking mid, 4 down towards B. However, Axel, he forgets the #1 rule, and that's, if you overpeak in middle, suddenly this entire map goes dark. And now for Gambit, already finding themselves in a 4-on-5, well, they have to disassemble that 4-man B stack immediately. They rotate 2 players up to A. And this is where, if you're Navi now, you don't have to go fast at all. You've got plenty of time. You've got all the room in the world. You know that Gambit are going to be shuffling players around between either bomb site. And ultimately, Navi looking like they want to lean in towards B, already rotating that bomb down on the back of Electronic. Simple, given this P250 armor buy. I think the best thing you could do in a pistol round is give a P250 over to a guy like Simple. I mean, look at how much of a difference it makes in those mid fights. Actually has a longer range on it than the USP with 1 taps. And so now, this B play moving in. Shiro well lined up with the first, but immediately traded by that Simple P250. And Inters is caught out as well. Simple in with the third. Nafany dropped from the round, leaves it all on Hobbit. Now, is Hobbit able to pull his Shiro out of this one? I don't know. I don't think so. Not with so many players in position. He does deal with Simple, but up in heaven with the crossfire setup between him and Electronic, this should be the done deal. Hobbit has seen the man in heaven. Time is starting to become the problem. Taps out Electronic. The bomb planted out in the open, and Hobbit's just sticking it. Surely don't get away with the full 10-second stick. Perfecto. It's not clean. No one's like, yeah, that was a sick kill. But he does get it locked in, and that's the most important thing. 8-8 for Navi. Pistol round going their way. And one thing I did want to say after that first half, I think while Shiro has taken a lot of the attention, right, for the clutches he's been able to deliver, which, you know, very, very valuable. I'm also looking at Inters as kind of an unsung hero in that one there. In that first half, he was so good at always selling these fakes. He was like the master decoy in his team. Like, he'd always get you a kill over towards A and force rotations. Now, moving into their CT side, I'm wondering what we're able to get out of him now that those same kind of, you know, fake possibilities aren't a factor.
Kit was dropped in heaven on that retake as well, Hobbit, right? Like, there's not many plays he can make there that are going to work unless Perfecto over peaks, but oh, nice stuff for Shiro with the one FAMAS in this round. Simple's got a Krieg for crying out loud, and Electronics getting pushed up close by 2 through the Molotov with no damage received. Shiro, he can upgrade or downgrade if you think that way. It's a Galil versus FAMAS battle. But instead, he could just arm his teammate once the molly is dispersed. Simple's moving up into A. But he could get caught looking at toilet. Instead, flicks back to long. Still a man in the same position. Nafany's just re-aggress and push behind default. So Na'Vi don't have that info just yet, but a molly comes down and Nafany's got to move into a fight. Simple is eagerly waiting for that. Now a third player, and they're just 1v1ing Simple. Those are not the engagements you want to give this man as he is picking up kills left and right. 2 CTs here, and the flank timing is important for Shiro. He could be left for the clutch, but no Kit in this round. Gambit needs to hold something down, and Hobbit's done at least one. He surely can't double up here, though, as Flamey chases him, and Simple's ready for Shiro. Na'Vi onto 9, and Simple bringing the Krieg meta back into play. 3 kills from it, and Na'Vi steal the lead right back.
Here's a cool little stat line from Ezio, right? So Shiro got his 15th clutch of the event by winning that 1v2 in round 13. Yeah. And the record is held by Simple from Star Ladder Season 4, where he got 19. Simple did that in 27 maps. Shiro is on his 10th map of the event and is only 4 clutches behind the current record. So that's pretty mind-blowing. Maybe Shiro can at least, you know, break a record at a bare minimum. Who knows? If he keeps this up, he might be well on track.
Maybe even in the series, Harry, up against Simple, stealing the crown off of the head of the king or the corpse of the king. We'll see if Na'Vi take this series. Right now, things are looking good. But I'm not counting anyone out in a regional bout between the best of CIS. It's Hobbit boosted towards Connector. Oh, he gets the dink, but Perfecto is very quick. And now he knows, right? Information, 1 second player there. And more where that came from. Flash is coming from outside B, but no one's in a rush here for Na'Vi. Flamey's crept through Monster, and he's still going to check the boost. Good awareness. 2 more CTs waiting in the wings, and in the tunnel is Nafany getting a dink to Boomich. Flamey backs up, but he gets repeat from the site. Luckily, Simple does kill Nafany before he retreats. Now this round should be coming to a close. Even with Shiro here on short, he gets jump shot. And bye-bye Gambit. Only an eco, right? It's what you can expect, but Na'Vi beginning to flex on this T side already. Now we've got the AWP out and the full buy for Gambit. Oh dear, I hope Nafany buys a kit, because you wouldn't want that to be your undoing. It was for Flamey. And there it is. Phew. 1 kit. Na'Vi still running bonus as they build their money.
And Simple's trying to be the man behind the dawning of the second Krieg meta.
Krieg 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, Electronic does not fare well in that little spam battle down in the connector. No damage applied to the other side, whereas he's down to 63, and now these M4s get that much more deadly up against him as a result. They're gonna hit like an AK. Na'Vi aren't worried just yet. And with connector control, Na'Vi now, you know, they're made aware of this, that they have all this control down towards Con and Short. And so this opens up a lot of possibilities, right? You can go with an A fake, you can fake B and quick rotate up to A. Suddenly your options are open, and Simple is trying to open them even more. The flash is real good. That little bait and switch between Axal and Shiro That's the kind of stuff that snatches away an opening kill, and Axal's even getting more aggressive on the back of it. Spots Electronic in the toilets. As mentioned, he was tagged up earlier on, and so that M4, all it takes is one to the dome. They're holding for the long push from Boomich, and in the blink of an eye, it is all left onto Perfecto. This is a great first rifle round from Gambit, right? Into bait and simple, up for the short push, trying to deal with Shiro jump peeking in the site. Axal doubling up in the toilets. Now just left to this one man with the Krieg. And only 7 seconds. Perfecto is looking to save. At least if he gets away with this, he can drop an AWP into play, right? Simple can then drop a gun to Boomich, rather. Flamey can drop Electronic, and we're all good if you're Na'Vi for a buy.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of nice to not see Gambit get given that Krieg. Maybe they don't take it, right? It depends on the player, I'd say. But getting a Krieg on CT side can be nasty with that scope. Very powerful weapon in the right hands, as simple as showing us right now. 10-9, at least trading rounds right now. Gambit getting their first rifle round on the board, and yeah, good calls, right? Again, re-aggressing. They trade 1-for-1 at Monster. Flamey has been trying to get a lot of lurks out into that position, and it gets denied again. Even going 1-for-1 with a MAC-10 on your own is okay there. But Axal, no fear on that re-aggression. Kills Simple, goes back for more, dropping the bomb. And at that point, it feels like an unlosable round for Gambit, who have already locked down B with the smoke. So here we go, back into the fray. Back into the firing line. Simple still Krieging it up.
Yeah, as mentioned, right, we had the money to get an AWP into the hands of Simple, so interesting to see him still electing to go for the Krieg. Him and Boomich slowly but surely working this mid position. They deep flash long to try and get an AWP off the angle, but it's Axal there. And so he'll just be retreating back into this A bomb site. Na'Vi, another one of these slow-paced rounds. No information gained yet for Gambit, and Na'Vi are leaning heavily down towards this B bomb site. Now, at this point in the round, this is normally where, right, when Gambit were running something similar to this, they might have gotten away with a kill over towards A. These were the kills that Inters was great at picking up. Na'Vi haven't applied that same pressure, though. And so at this point in time, Gambit is still stacked fairly heavily down towards B. It will get dismantled on the opener by Simple and Flamey. And now there is only one man here, but more players are moving down in rotation. And at this point in time, Gambit actually outnumber Na'Vi inside the B bomb site. These other Na'Vi players still a little ways away from getting involved. And so as the kills are coming in, things are going from bad to worse. Na'Vi, they get the B control. They don't have the numbers here to get that bomb down, so now they're having to rush down these defending players. They're having to pressure them. Simple will deliver that kill and be the man to get the bomb planted, but denied by Nafany. And now time is running out. The bomb's got to get planted, but they've gone for the kills instead. That is a disaster. There's no time for the bomb plant. And so Gambit get a 10th. Does that count as a Shiro clutch if he runs away? I think it does, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's team play for sure. Nafany makes that call, right? He gets the spam off and he tells Shiro to run immediately. He knows he's going to get traded in the pit, but all he had to do was deny the plant. And as you say, Na'Vi focusing on kills over the bomb. Oh my, I mean, they go for it as quick as they can at that point. Someone had to kill Nafany. He couldn't have planted twice. He would have been denied again. And Shiro just sprints. He just escapes. And he adds a clutch to his tally. Oh dear, that's a kicker for Na'Vi. Like you said, right, 2 players in the site for Na'Vi. Gambit had more manpower despite even being a man down. But it's Electronic hunting, jumping over the boxes, and he has no one there to trade him. Simple setting up utility for crying out loud, smoking the site, mollying the pit. But all that does is trap Gambit into the position that the wins in the round. Nafany had no need to move. And Gambit, they're still in this one, 10-10.
That's one of the things that is so like was so different between the two sides. That when Gambit were throwing in a fake, it was only Inters over at A. Like one man makes a big difference. The fact that Na'Vi had two there meant that, you know, even if you get traded like 1-for-1 down on B or 2-for-1, like what happened to Na'Vi, as you're moving in, you've only actually got two players in B. Like, you know, you've got the kills, you've been given the space, but there's a lot of room for Gambit to rotate down and be offered up a 3 versus 2 inside of that bomb site. So yeah, it's a little bit rough. And, you know, you can't even look at Electronic there and be like, well, he could have played it safer. Like, no, I think he knows that at that point in time, with just the two of them there, with the bomb in tow, with 20 seconds, he needs to get something else, a little bit more from around like that. And so he's feeling the pressure. It falls apart for Na'Vi. And Gambit now tie this game up.
Yeah, there's some kickers of rounds lost by Na'Vi that they are going to be, you know, not happy about. But it's all about staying composed in these quarterfinals, keeping yourself together. Got a long day ahead of us. Simple getting run boosted. Out into long as Shiro tried in the first half. He was denied by Simple, but the Yorp is far more passive on A. And Gambit have 3 here as well, right? Similar to Na'Vi, not afraid to make the risky move of leaving B fairly defended. Very passive setup, and this MP9, you know, on the site, surely only playing for info here if you're Inters. You can't really put a stop to anyone coming out through that position. Hobbit waiting on short. Bomb for Electronic there as well, but he's already peeling back, going up the stairwell as Flamey gets out Monster again. He's been very good at going 1-for-1 here. That is fine. Shiro's here on the B site as well, so A is undefended, but spotted is Boomich, and Simple tries to escape, but he is denied by Hobbit's position. Flamey can't do a thing, and there's 10 seconds again as the bomb really gonna elude Na'Vi. Yes, it is. Nafany with the kills, and again, Gambit win with a clock on their side. Massive hold for Nafany, sure, but Na'Vi felt the need to plant. They don't have time to clear the corners, and this slow style, this late round play for Na'Vi, it's letting them down.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it feels like it's kind of always been the downfall of Overpass for them, right? It is that these fakes never really come together the way you would hope they do. And a lot of the time I see Na'Vi having rounds slip by the wayside. It's in a fashion like that, where you've got 7 seconds. The enemy team have the information. You physically don't have time to switch a plan up on the fly or get in the head of Gambit at all. You know, there was no option to slow that down and reset in a round like that if you're Na'Vi. If you go slow, you lose. And so now just pistols out for this Na'Vi T side. Gambit opening the round up in a 5-on-4 immediately as well. Really does lessen the impact that these Deagles are going to be able to have.
Yeah, Hobbit's position as well. He's like towing the line between aggression and information, right? He's playing towards short. He's tucked behind the sandbag, and that gives him the info that it's an A play. He calls to Nafany, like, yeah, they're coming up. He kills Simple, trying to rotate up connector, and even though he's not playing too aggressive and offering up that pick in water, he's still in a position where he can swing and get that information. So yeah, Gambit knew that was going to be an A take from the get-go. And now they're here ready and waiting again. 3 CTs on the site, Shiro waiting, and Na'Vi with no nades to get anyone off angles. Oh dear, wallbangs are even coming in. There's no safety in this site. Shiro with a kill, and Flamey gets 1, but that's going to be all that Na'Vi can look at in that round. 12-10, and it was only pistols, right? We're waiting for the gun rounds of Na'Vi, and Simple lacking the AWP in many of these rounds.
Plus, I think it's important to realize, right, that when Na'Vi were like 6-2 up, Boomich was looking great. He had those 3 triple kill rounds, putting up onto 9. Well, since then, he's had 3. He's had 3 kills, so that's a bit of a rough one for old mate Boomich. He has been struggling. He's also been the guy a lot of the times left in like these positions, spearheading the charge over towards A or trying to sell some kind of fake. Not an easy position to be in, but you need to make it work at least as good as Inters did. Over on the side of Na'Vi, money will allow a buy once again, but that's not what they're focused on here. You know, Gambit, they're starting to take the lead in this matchup from 6-2 in favor of Na'Vi to 12-10. Moving into crunch time, you know, you don't get many more second chances at this point. And no one knows that better than Na'Vi. AWP out on Shiro again, and a Krieg for Simple. We saw Simple with the AWP once, and that was in the round where Hobbit catches him rotating up through connector. Other than that, we haven't actually seen it played. has just been these rolling Kriegs.
Yeah, what's worrying for Navi is 8 of their 10 rounds have come off the back of the pistol, right? Or the pistols on both sides. Nice start for Electronic. Navi, they lost the pistol in the first half, but they won the Force, and they go on a bit of a streak off the back of it. There were some gun rounds in there. They go up 5-2. And on the second half, they went 3-0 to start this one off as well. So when it comes to the gun rounds, it's been Gambit more often than not. Navi, though, throwing a fly in the ointment and finding the first. Electronic picks Hobbit in the same position as last round. Getting aggressive, though, this time will be his demise. And Electronic has not moved his eyes from this position either. Oh, they've crept out. He's going to look back in, though. The orb's there, and that's a big trade for Gambit to get back into a 4-on-4. Boomich is out on long, and he hears Axel trying to retreat, who was tagged earlier on. Boomich can get that kill, and look at him speeding towards A. Will he call for a fake, or will he call for his team to join him on the site? It doesn't matter, because Boomich might just have all the kills. Shiro finally trades, sending his team down lower. The orb is on A. Navi are trying to avoid him, but Inters gets aggressive to do some damage. They're already out Monster. Surely he can't escape, but they let him go. They let him drop into the pit, and now the orb can post up for kills.
With Shiro still alive, you know, Inters, he really needs to get one kill and set Shiro up for another clutch. As the swing, and Simple is quick to not let Shiro get away. You know what this guy's capable of if you even give him the tiniest bit of room. That's a Simple just shuts him out immediately. The fact that Shiro is also keeping up, like in terms of just the overall frag tally, and then the fact that, you know, they've both been finding impact in different ways. For Simple, it's been his ludicrous amount of openers in this game. You know, like always being the man to try and create that space for Navi. For Gambit, Shiro, as mentioned, great in these clutches. So you've got Simple on one side, who's been opening up a lot of these rounds, and Shiro on the other, who's been closing them out for Gambit. Yeah. And ultimately, it hasn't really mattered how strong Navi have started. It's about how strong Gambit have finished, with Shiro this time only onto with the Eagles. So you imagine that 12th round is looming for Navi.
For sure. That is a good point in the sense of like Shiro keeping up in frags outside of clutches. Because if you think about it, 2 of the clutches he's won, he's not even had to get kills in. It's been the time or the bomb playing to his favor. Yeah, right now, Navi are just not giving up. Every time they get the money back on, these anti-ecos have been very clean for Navi. Not the best grenade thrown by Perfecto, but not a worry either. He knows his boost has been employed at time to time. Oh, through the mid-smoke, but cover is there. Perfecto comes out connected. That was a flash thrown from B by Inter. So nice high flash to set Shiro up, but he's not good for the kill. I think he got a bit blinded by it as well. Even so, 5-on-2. And almost nothing Navi can do wrong. Wherever they go, whatever they do, as long as they do it together, they should be absolutely fine and dandy. Smoke on A. And they look aware of Axel's position. I don't know if his barrel's been sticking out as silencer. Probably not. Boomich is now drawn into Inters. Will he check it? Yes, he does. Oh, it's a bit messy. And that's a gun given over. No one to trade on long. Navi, 20 seconds. You can't mess this one up. You can't afford to mess this one up. But Axel's doing something with this AK, and he's tripled up on the site, finally getting hounded down. That is far too uncomfortable in what was a 2v5 for Gambit, with USPs, for crying out loud. Still around, nonetheless, for Na'Vi, but nothing comes free in this game.
Something that is interesting is, you know, in that first half, we mentioned how it felt like, you know, Boomich and Electronic have, like, swapped things up. Chad actually went back and had a little look, and it turns out they've attempted this once more before in this tournament, right, versus Liquid. In that game, Electronic's performance suffered as a result of it, and he ended up being the lowest-rated player for Na'Vi. Well, once again, he's currently sat bottom of the board. You're hoping that this T-side is where we can get even more mileage out of Electronic.
Yeah, at least in that game, the T-side was the better of the 2 for Na'Vi. Not that, you know, they picked up the map, but able to get a 9-round T-side there. And considering how this game is exactly gone, that's, well, what Na'Vi need, and then some. Or in fact, exactly what they need with an 8-7 for Gambit, but getting back to the Krieg for Simple out of choice. Not really been seeing him versus Shiro in these head-to-heads with AWPs, right? It has just been coming down to Shiro getting picks on the rest of his team. Set towards B early for Na'Vi, bringing the bomb back down lower. 3-man hold, but not for long. Nafany already peeling away. Does he redecide to commit into B? And yes, he does. So Gambit have got the right stack right now. Boomich up on that top side again, but he doesn't have any more utility to fake. Oh boy.
Oh, Gambit are getting aggressive. I don't know. This could be the decision that throws it away. Flamey, they're right there. They're on the other side of the smoke, but somehow they've dealt with both players outside of Monster. That looked dead to rights going in favor of Na'Vi. Boomich has even picked up through the wall at long, and so Na'Vi were getting posted. They were getting ready to hit this B bomb site, and instead, Gambit beat them to the punch. It's a save immediately out of the round. You never even really got to play if you're Na'Vi. You walked to positions, you sat there, and then Gambit brought the fight to them. My oh my, that is one hell of a way to find the lead for Gambit. You know, keeping 5 alive as well, even looking to hunt down some of these remaining players. Now, they're not going to get found. They're not going to get discovered regardless. 5 alive for Gambit. So much money getting made on the back of a round like that. And at the same time, the money of Na'Vi getting broken. You couldn't have asked for a better way to take the lead if you're Gambit. And on the back of such a ballsy call as well, that ends up paying dividends to Gambit.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Like you said, looked like Flamey had that one for sure, right? The smoke looked right on the edge for him. He was looking into his opponent's eyes, but, you know, when you sit inside of a smoke, it often fades to your favor. So Gambit used that to their advantage. Simple was even throwing a flashbang for Flamey as the smoke faded, so he wasn't ready for a fight either. And oh no, Na'Vi not like this. Money bottomed out. They'll be eco if they lose this one. Up against 14, might even just have to be the force for Na'Vi unless they want to play for OT. Now do they actually get to play their round out of spawn? You can see how timid they are to begin. After Na'Vi went 6-2 up, 5-2 up on CT, Gambit were playing similar to this, right? They were very, very passive, very methodical in middle, doing the same util, smoke toilets, molly to the divider to send back an AWP. So Na'Vi now know that Gambit could be continuing this aggression on the A side of the map, and they are very, very vigilant about those positions. Close on long is Axile. Boomich might not be ready for a fight this close. He could jump spot it, but a big risk. Oh, that pole, there's the flash, and Boomich now giving away his position. Axile gets the kill, and Na'Vi are speeding up into the stack.
Yeah, this time trying to be explosive, trying to get a bit more aggressive with it. And Electronic on the opener has at least given them a chance in a round like this. Nafany calling for these rotations, trying to get people into the right place. But with him alone facing at the truck, there's now a big gap over in this A side. The nade onto the bomb plant, it does great damage. Won't deny the plant. The tags have come through, and Simple out of the round now. It's a 2 versus 2. Shiro and Inter is still standing at full HP for Gambit, and it's all on the line now for Na'Vi. If they want to keep this game going, if they don't want their money to get broken up against 14, they need this round now more than ever. Flamey delivers the first, and now Inter's left up alone to try and get it over the line. Flamey knows how important this round is, but he's given it all away. The long peek, handing that kill to Inters and giving him the 1v2, puts Gambit up to 14, breaks the money of Na'Vi. They're in a really rough spot now. And that could have been the deciding round in this game.
And Gambit pinching every penny, even going back to CT to grab the orb that Shiro drops for the retake. And yeah, Flamey, there's not much you can do there, right? Inters plays it perfectly, tapping the bomb and going round wide. Flamey wasn't even facing hard. He wasn't even swinging the plant. He just gets caught by an aggressive post-plant CT. The fear for you there, if you're Flamey, is you never know if Inters is sticking that defuse. It's a risk. It's a gamble. And it's a game where one decision can change everything as Gambit steal back 14, taking the lead. And even with the bomb plant from Na'Vi, is that really going to incentivize them to full buy? It would be a huge risk to take. Many teams with 12 rounds in their pocket will want to play for overtime in this spot. But not Na'Vi. Na'Vi are willing to put their money where their mouth is. Is it going to pay off, though?
See, and I think, you know, coming into this second half, we highlighted Inters as like someone who was very, very important to the Gambit T side. NAVI just don't have anyone that's matching up to what he was able to get away with, right? Whenever Boomich has been left to try and sell these fakes, a lot of the times he just sits long toilets and then dies eventually. So this time they try and move away from the fake tactics. They try to keep things simple and they rush in towards B. It doesn't get much easier than this. In terms of having the strategy orchestrated, they don't manage to deal with NAFI down in the pit, and Inters is bailing them out as well. Now it's bought time for Axile's short flank, and he gets away with the double. The round is locked in, and in spite of the openers coming through for NAVI, the response from Gambit was so damn fast. Players through the connector, not budging within that bomb site, just keeping Overwatch on one another. All to buy time for that short flank from Axile.
He was there the entire time, by the way. He gets flashed off and Na'Vi don't clear him. They just run into B and Axile comes out with a backstab. He makes the call, I'm letting them in, and Gambit just peel away. They don't give away the picks on the site. And then Axile can just backstab because the last thing that Na'Vi are expecting is the position they just ran through to be enemy territory. My, oh my. Gambit up against another force. It's not pretty for Na'Vi, to say the very least. Simple stuck on a Deagle, and Boomich with the 1 AK has been extremely quiet in the T side when it comes to the kills. And is there anything to rely on for Na'Vi? Is there anything they can look at and go, yeah, that will work. That will consistently work. Gambit have tried different things every round, of flashing fast through a smoke. It is unbelievably aggressive. Axel goes for one, and he drops the AK, but that can just mean Simple's now armed. And another gun for Perfecto potentially as well. Simple's trying to scavenge what he can. Give me the AK, mate. Yeah, cheers. 3 rounds in a row for Na'Vi, and it's got to start here and now. Or never. And we go to Na'Vi's pick of train.
Well, it's all come down to what's looking like just this short play into the A bomb site with a late long split from Electronic. 40 seconds as well. Time is once again going to become a problem here. Gambit maybe getting in their heads a little bit. Oh, NAFI will decide against the rotate, and the timing on that reconsideration is perfect because he's now here fighting alongside Shiro up at the A bomb site as the push is coming in. 20 seconds, they flush out Shiro, and not a trade in sight. That bomb has got to go down. They plant it safe at the truck. The nade goes in and deals with Flamey, but that's not the bomb planter. So NAVI, they get away with that at least. Now they have to find the 3-on-3, and Simple, he's just given them a reason to get reinvested in this round. Out with the swing, Perfecto knows now that he has to fight tooth and nail to keep NAVI in this one. Electronic at the dice box gets spotted as well, and so the info is there for Gambit. Perfecto dealt with on truck, and Electronic wide swang from the bank. It's the defuse in for Gambit. Another round going their way, and with that, this map gets snuck in by the Gambit squad. My, oh my, 16 to 12, and it's no contest in that second half of play. Gambit are looking fierce. Can NAVI pull it together moving on to train? You're gonna have to wait and see.
They done told me to be myself, so when I went and found myself, the ones who told me that damn be true to who I am ain't think we was really gonna win. Now they watching us from the sidelines while we trying to victories like we in high tides. I'm getting my prize, only thing my eyes is locked in on. Have a milli mine. I want it right now, don't waste my time. Family in a penthouse with a view sky high. Blood, sweat, and tears bring more to my eyes, cause the whole gang winning. I done gave my life, odds low, but we did it, ain't we? And we always moving, never on the same thing. Now our lives are highlight reel. We like the thrill, this life's ideal, the hype is real.
We know it, it's just the way.
Turn the finally goes, and it's all on Hobbit. Back turn towards the next player in the corner, gets that frag, no smoke for the defuse, grabs that orb instead, taps that bomb, looks towards good position. Stan gives him a shoulder, but no more than that. Second phase, not gonna get the kill. Oh, Hobbit lands it. Channel is in at overpass to try and bring this round back, gets that first and that second. 10 seconds remaining total. Nade past the T, but he's gonna walk right into it. Hobbit, 4 kills.
Finally get one from Hobbit. Oh, if he'd been here a second earlier. There's the duck, there's the spam, now Hobbit knows. And he's got the time, and he's got the clutch. Aminek's still all the way down by the ramp, so he can't really be that helpful here. That's a huge shot to hit. Hobbit's gonna play close up around the smoke. will now set up a flashbang for his teammates. Hobbit dodges it, he gets one, he gets two. He's looking for more, he might just have it, and he does. That should shut down the round.
In 2013, Netflix releases House of Cards, Edward Snowden outs the NSA for spying on people, and Bitcoin mining becomes a thing, and of course, the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice takes place for the first time.
As the first of its kind, nobody really predicted how things would go down. What did happen was unprecedented. An hour before show start, the Spodek was full, and 2,000 people were out here waiting to get in line. Braziers were put up to be able to help shelter them from the cold in January in Poland.
Right here, the biggest esports crowd that the Western world had ever witnessed gathered to watch memorable moments, and in some cases, legendary ones. The Korean Protoss first was able to defeat Dream in the final in StarCraft 2, and in League of Legends, we witnessed as the Russians from Gambit Gaming were able to defeat 2 Korean teams in the semis and the grand final. The tournament has also helped to produce one of the most talked about League of Legends moments in history. Fnatic's ex-Peke was able to single-handedly turn the tide against SK Gaming. The moment now known as the ex-Peke backdoor helped to establish the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice and make it the event that it is today.
Peke's trying to take the Nexus down. Is anyone going to be able to deal with this one? Catches him with another axe. He's very low. They're pushing on the Nexus to him. Peke's back to get it. I do not believe it. Peke's stuck in there. Catching it. Takes down the Nexus. But now he can go crazy. That game was amazing.
When I look at Navi's performance so far, I think it's gonna be hard match for us. They are one of the best team in the world right now, and they're always like doing fight and doing damage. I mean, if they're losing, it's always close games, so it's gonna be hard for sure.
16-12 is the scoreline that ends this first map of Overpass, our first quarterfinal of the day. Navi and Gambit squaring off. Potentially 3 maps, guaranteed 2. And that is what we are looking at. Train on the horizon, and Shiro really delivering it all right here for the side of Gambit. Getting it done in what was a game that was pretty lopsided to start things off. But, you know, you don't need to just hear it from me. We have Yanko, we have Get Right, who also witnessed this game as a whole. Guys, Chris, what are you thinking, man?
I mean, Navi was really unlucky time to time there. Like Shiro, you know, making the 2 big times the clutches that were necessary. Even Flamey, like, didn't have enough time to defuse the bomb the second time. Also, the plant there on B side when it got spammed through the bulk, like the bomb site there from water. You know, Gambit played really well. Like, all the nades usage they did, especially on retakes in the big picture in there, worked wonders for Gambit. And I think, like, Gambit just had the upper advantage a little bit, but also Gambit was like, Navi was like fooling around a little bit with the time there. So it was like, I think even Yanko was mentioning it there in the green, was like, is this like the old Navi? Will it be too like losing the round because of the time or something?
Yeah, it did seem a little weird in some of those situations, right? Really draining the clock until the end, and also some of those mixed buys, you know, because they saved a couple of guns, so they have like an AWP, 2 pistols, an AK, and a Galil, right? But I think you look at it both ways. You know, this game could have been Navi's way if it weren't for the clutches, but if it weren't for the hot starts for Navi, like, it could have been a storm for Gambit when you look at it, right? So Navi won. They had a 5-1 start in the first half, 3-0 start in the second half. That's 8 rounds, 1 more anti-eco in the second half. That's kind of 9 rounds already that you're getting without having to do really too much work, right, after you get that reset at the start of the game. So not really that many gun rounds going for Navi, and it is kind of disappointing seeing as you have to know this is a high chance of this pick coming from Gambit, and you had 4 days to try and prepare for it.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at that first half, and you're right. With that pistol round by Gambit, 5 rounds thereafter, you think, okay, here we go again. Yeah. What are we going to see out of Navi? Is this going to be a steamroll? No, there was a proper response right here, Chris.
I mean, it was. Like, Shiro's the 1v3 clutch was like a turning point, like the big factor, even though they won the round before that. So I think it was like 5-3 when he actually won that one. But, you know, like, also, Navi got away with like 1 round when they diffused like in the smoke there on A side, and like going back and 6-3, oh yeah, 6-3 here in the 1v3 clutch is like that was like the turning point if you ask me for the Gambit side. Like they just
I think
like
it was
running away.
At the start it looked a bit scary for Gambit at one point after that 5-1 start, because you could see they were getting really shut down, you know, and they fell into a little bit of a this thing that happens is like, okay, now you don't want to get picked off, so you're playing like you're starting to play real slow, like trying to check everything, and then you find yourself in situations where you don't really have that much time left towards the end of the round, and you can't really check for everything, right? You needed to play with, you know, you needed to take more risks, right? I know there was a round where they could have gotten reset basically with you know, Navi players having Molly with like 20 seconds left and so on. So I think it's just like the Shiro clutch, the first 1v3, really pulled them out of that slump, so to speak. Then they had a few towards the end of the half too.
So Yanko, show me what we're cooking with right here. Are we cooking with gas or is it charcoal?
I don't know. Like, I don't know what we're cooking. I don't know what we're doing right now. But I mean, like, this is the first round Shiro won. This is like the second clutch he won, and there are going to be a lot of clutches that Shiro won. So, like we talked about, like that was basically the turning point for Gambit here. We hyped him up a lot in the pre-show, in the pre-game, right? And I think he undoubtedly delivered a lot. If you count that 1v2 where Navi ran out of time, that's like 3 massive clutches just in the first half.
And that's just staying alive, right? You know, he did what he had to do, and now we look at what we have to look at, which is train. And we know Navi could come out here and should come out here, and all things considered, stronger. So talk to me about train.
Yeah, I think this one is, you know, I really like the veto for Gambit, but I tweeted out that I say it doesn't matter what the veto is, Navi has to win this, right? If we're gonna consider them the #1 team in the world, obviously just also to stay alive in this tournament, you know, now especially they're 1-0 down, but it's just like that's one of their staple maps. Gambit is no slouches on it, but you saw the difference on Overpass, what we talked about. Another hard map for the T side. Gambit 5-1 down, wins 8 rounds total, right, in the half. Navi won the pistol 3-0 and can't really do much in gun rounds from that point on, right? And that's the difference maker. That has to change Navi's way for Train. Otherwise, Gambit has a very real chance of closing this out 2-0.
2-0, Chris.
I mean, there's a huge possibility for that. I don't see Gambit as a bad team on Train, even though, like, looking result-wise they play against, it's not the best like Navi does, but at the same time, Navi has a huge edge against CS teams.
Yeah, and we're going to find out only after a break. We're going to come back. We're going to jump into Train. Is going to be Navi that push us into a third, or can Gambit close it out right here and shock the world? We'll find out when we return.
Oh.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, or I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
Hello everyone, so today I'm waiting for Tobias. Tobias, that is a fan of mine. We appreciate that, by the way, thank you for that. I'm gonna make him a surprise. He has no clue that I'm here right now. He doesn't know anything about everything, about anything at all. So I'm gonna make him a little surprise with the cooperation of ESL. So let's see how he reacts, and I hope it's gonna be a really nice gift for him.
So my name is Tobias, I'm from Poland. And I like to play CS and watch G2. So it's because of the KNS.
Hello my friend, Daisy, Doris, Doom Master 4000. How are you today? Great. Did you have a good day working, chilling, yogaing, kayaking? Great. Time to hit up Just Eat for our KFC, Greg's, McDonald's, delivered right to your crib, Palace, Bunker. For just £1.99, £1.99, less than £2. We got it.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
Enjoy totally unlimited data and zero usage caps with fast, reliable fibre broadband from TalkTalk. So you can game on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Search TalkTalk Fibre.
Shocked. I didn't expect it. I thought that we don't have too many time to play. So it's a surprise, really.
No, but now I have you on Steam, bro. So if you want to talk to me one day, bro, you carry me, huh?
Sure.
You ready?
Yeah. Flash.
I'm flashing. Yeah, let's kill him. Oh, lo.
Nice.
Dziękuję, my boy. Nice, Obi. Let's go. It's time to come back now. Bye.
Thanks for the game, anyway.
Thank you, Tobias. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kenny.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dziękuję.
Dziękuję. Thank you, Pace of God, for this experience. It was really awesome. My hands are still shaking.
Intel Extreme Masters Katowice is brought to you in part by Intel, Acer Predator, GG.BET, PaySafeCard, and DHL.
And so now we go to train. Na'Vi, they're going to have to do a lot to pull it back here, Hugo. Gambit find themselves in pole position. And considering that Na'Vi moving into this, right, we're trying to enter the CIS era as #1. If they don't get past Gambit, then the defending champions of Katowice have their run cut short in the quarterfinals. So train starts to matter a hell of a lot now to Na'Vi fans all around the globe.
Yeah, a scary Vito coming into the series today, and right now showing up in the way of Gambit. Na'Vi want to flip the scales, turn the tide, but I don't think it's going to be that easy, right? Gambit is showing us some serious face. We're getting clutches out of the wazoo from Shiro, and everyone else showing up as well. Simple's got a lot of lifting to do in this game. He's got the P250 coming right out into the pistol as well. Look good back on the T side, and the pistols weren't really the problem for Na'Vi. As Yanko said on the desk again, like, if Na'Vi didn't have those hot starts in both halves, they could have just got stomped out of the map. So, you know, context there is a little bit worrying. Right now, Nafany eats a nade on Ivy, and Na'Vi need the strong start. They can't afford to go down and out in the quarterfinals with CIS teams on either side of the bracket. VP waiting in the quarters, Spirit waiting in the top side of the semis. Na'Vi have a lot to prove to win Katowice in back-to-back years. But Gambit, the little youngsters that could and should, looking to steal things away, pre-rotating towards that inner bomb site, moving 3 players in the right place. Nade is ready as well. This could be chunky against armored or armorless players. Flamey's coming down as well. He's going to try and line up the one flash. Hobbit backing out. Shiro is tucked, and he could win this round off his position alone.
Ooh, Inters getting one alongside Shiro, but they lose Shiro in the meantime, and that bomb now goes down. Inter's trying to get stuck in with his USP, but nothing's presenting itself yet. Na'Vi just playing tugged, playing reserved, and making Gambit work for these kills. They will swing together and deal with Nafany. That kit has been retrieved quickly by Inters, but time is still ticking away from the Gambit squad. And there's all the peaks to come through. Na'Vi, they get that pistol round. Looking really, really good in like the early segments of these games of Na'Vi, right? Winning the pistol back on Overpass, winning a 4-spy as well there in the second. Now they move on to Train. They take the pistol again. So the success rate has really been there for Na'Vi to get off to these good starts. We just need to see them do a little bit more once that ball gets rolling, because it feels like the moment the rifle rounds come through, Gambit are just back to full strength.
Yeah, it's good. Good time to see Electronic get, you know, a strong start with a 3K in the pistol, right? Oh, say his name and I've cursed him immediately. Shot by the scout in the face.
Great start. Yep.
Yeah. He had a rough one last map. You know, position change that we talked about, and maybe that comes back to bite him. But he's going to be very, very lethal on a map like Train, right? Especially on that CT side, just a very aggressive player, up in your face towards T main, towards E-box. But right now, this Force Buy might be stealing the wind of Na'Vi. The scout tags are in, and they're Sublime. Shiro climbing the ladder, trying to get up top. HP. Everyone is low, as you say, and Shiro could put them all to rest.
Nafany has a Molotov as well. If that goes into the bomb site, that could burn these players up. And into the open, the molly. Oh, it's so damn good. Gambit, they steal that round right back, and this game's heating up already, Hugo. Oh boy. This is exciting. This really is.
This is the inverse as well of the previous map, right? Like, you know, with Gambit taking pistol, Na'Vi steal it away, and then they start running with the T side. Well, that's not quite the same case here. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
You know that, you know, like Zeus obviously likes to watch a lot of these Na'Vi games, right, and still try and back the boys. Well, this is the one map in which Zeus lives on in the hands of Boomich in Pop Dog, man. He loves the Zeus over here. So watch out for that. That's more a CT side speciality that we're hoping to get out of him. But he has still opened up this round. Boomich is very acclimatized to the Pop Dog.
Hey, you get something out of it, right? Na'Vi not a team to be scared off by these Force Buy wars. No scopes could kill Perfecto, so I'm a little scared of that one. Boomich, oh, he's trapped. And the MP9 battle won by Hobbit. Boomich was already low. Na'Vi are grouping on Ivy. Hobbit has taken a lot of room. One of the more experienced players in the server. He knows Zeus maybe as well as Na'Vi do as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons for Zeus to be watching this game, right? Oh, smoke's down. Inter's playing ahead of it. Flash is out. That's thrown from main, and Inter's just concedes this for the time being. Gives them a little bit of room, but not too much room. They do get close, and there's Inter's with the double. No one checking close right, and even swinging the deal with Simple. Inter's having a great round up against this Force Buy. And it's looking like a done deal for Gambit that they've got this conversion and that a third round should be soon to follow, putting them off to a very good lead, 3-1 up. We haven't actually really seen Gambit on Train at this event. I think they've played it versus Team 1, and that's the extent of it, right? And there, it was a dominant victory for Gambit, 16-5. But obviously, knowing the heights that Gambit then went on to reach, it's not that surprising anymore. Outside of that, right, it's more so been, you know, events that have gone by. I'm talking like DreamHack Opens and qualifiers, things like that. We've seen them beat the likes of Spirit. You know, I think that's a pretty decent victory to have when you look at how well that Spirit have been doing. Plus, we've always said this about Na'Vi, you and I, Hugo, after having to cover the things like the CIS RMR, is that Na'Vi can be #1 in the world, but not even top 10 in CIS. It's a very, very weird thing for them versus these CIS teams.
Yeah.
Maybe we're seeing that rear its ugly head again today. Just Simple left. They're quick to deal with him. 3-1, and now we have the rifles coming back in for Na'Vi.
That regional, you know, situation is not exclusive to Na'Vi, though, right? We see it
a lot of teams are like that, yeah.
All over Counter-Strike, right? You know, the best team in the country playing the second best team in the country and often falling to it. I mean, pretty much everyone says that. And I think somewhat of that is the hunger, right? Gambit, of course they want to beat Na'Vi. Why wouldn't you want to beat, you know, some of the players and the org that you maybe look up to in this game? And so Gambit, who are up a map right now in this quarterfinal, are more pumped than ever.
And even if it's not looking up, right, definitely the org that overshadow you, right? Like the org that is always the one to get those invites and get those direct routes places, right? If you have the choice between inviting Na'Vi or Gambit, I think most people look at Na'Vi and go, yep, we'll get them guys in.
Yeah.
So definitely overshadowed by Na'Vi.
Yeah, and it's rare to have, you know, young players in the CIS region not, you know, taken by Na'Vi. They've got quite the rosters right now. And I say rosters, junior academy teams, etc., but not the youngsters who are here ready and waiting. Pushed into main with a Molotov. Axel finds the bomb and he sees it going Ivy as well. So now the plan for Na'Vi, which was grouping with 4 on the Ivy position, is known by their opponents. Gambit set up for it. Inters trying to look above the boxes, will start to fall back to a safer position, and they could be chunky as well. Actually bounces out. And this is a scary start for Na'Vi, certainly, in this gun round. It's not even the prettiest buy for Gambit. 2 SMGs still in play, but they're making it work. Inters is letting them out, baiting them in to the position that he just played. Electronic does check it this time around, but the barrel gives him away. And Inters needs another, or needs to stay alive. He'll go for the latter. Perfecto has to hunt him down, but he's being caught between 2 opponents. There's still a player remain to worry about. Perfecto finding a couple. 20 seconds, Na'Vi do not want to let the time be their undoing once again.
They're still holding. They're still waiting. And this is giving a bit of a rough situation over. Flamey has to look back into the site, and then Hobbit hits the perfect timing. Perfecto is the hero in this round, and he's almost on for the ace, but Nafany will deny it. Simple, missed shot. Nafany given a chance, and Simple is very, very quick to get a handle back on that before it gets out of hand. 2 and 3. Still in favor of Gambit, but Na'Vi claiming a second. The reinvestment going to come through for the Gambit squad. They're not worried yet. Perfecto with an inspiring round for the rest of the Na'Vi guys, right? He really digs them out of the hole that Gambit were looking to put them in. 4 out of the 5 kills coming on the back of a 10 HP Perfecto.
I've got to say as well, big call from Simple to plant in between the bomb trains, right? Considering they had Pop Dog when he went for the plant, it would have been easy to plant for Flamey, but he gets caught trying to cover Simple, and it's the plant that's actually safe for a change for Na'Vi. It doesn't get denied, which felt inevitable for Gambit considering how Overpass went and how that position looked. So yeah, very, very important detail there for Na'Vi. AWP's out as well. Simple setting towards B. Hobbit waiting with plenty of utility still. And it's going to be a fast approach. Electronic flashing out and not waiting. Shiro's already come in on a rotate, but they're going to be able to get past that money if they want. They're desperate for the bomb plant. They're pushing up close, and Shiro just picking them up through smokes. 4 on 3. Gambit are poised for the retake. Na'Vi haven't even got the bomb to the site.
Man, Shiro is just so exciting to watch. The fact that you can be in a server with Simple and you still have the majority of people like looking at you and what you're able to put forward, that is a really nice sign for Shiro. He's done well to impress us early on. And now it is just Simple left alive. Inter's deleted. Shiro moving in, him and Axile trying to retake this one together, and Simple playing on the ladder, still alive, drops the molly onto the bomb. That will deny the defuse. Simple versus Shiro, and while the no-scope lands, Shiro wins the peak, and Na'Vi, the round, still so damn close, but picking up the kit, I think he's just got time. My oh my, Shiro at 5 HP, best Simple in the head-to-head, both of them with 3 in the round.
That was a 1 on 4. He got 3 out of them. He hits the no-scope to just menial HP on Shiro. That's a round for Simple. Born and bred. But Shiro sneaks it by with a no-scope and a defuse in the final few seconds. That is unacceptable by Shiro. How on earth does that not fall the way of Simple? It felt like it had to. And a no-scope, it lets him down. The tag. But not for Shiro, staying cool, calm, collected, and keeping Gambit up.
So that would be his, if I'm remembering this right, that would be his 17th clutch. The record, as mentioned, was 19, but that's across 27 maps. Shiro has now played 11, including this one that we're on right now.
Oh yeah, and we're 7 rounds in, by the way.
So
there's more to come.
He might not just beat Simple in the clutch, he might be stealing a record from the guy as well.
Oh my, Gambit. They already killed Heroic in this tournament, right? They already knocked him out in the lower bracket. Are they going to be taking more names with them? What else can you do but laugh? 4-2. Na'Vi forced by and back in, miffed by the previous. And they're going fast as well, or at least Perfecto is, who's pushed in down Olaf. There's 2 players towards Sandwich. Oh my, stuck in the smoke. Spamming as well. Now that gives it away. They actually had no idea how deep he was, but now all the info is in the way of Gambit. They're going to try and hound him down, but they look away, and that is the kill for Perfecto to grab himself a gun as well. Stuck in the site is Shiro. He's committed. Oh dear, Nafany's going to get aggressive, and he might have hit the timing with players moving up Sandwich. He wants to take a bit of a bite out of their lunch. Not jumping the gun, waiting for that cross, and he will drop the bomb with it. Shiro, missed shot, needs something special here to stay alive. Nafany is providing everything in the site. Simple will trade, but it's down pop for Hobbit on the B flank. Perfecto tries to hold him down, but he misses his bullets, he misses his opportunity, and now it's time for a reset for Perfecto. He gets out again, they don't know, but Hobbit is quick to keep this round alive for Gambit. Meanwhile, Shiro was running inner, really trying to complicate things for a clutch. The last position Na'Vi would have expected him if it came down to the 1v1, but no need. 5-2 for Gambit, and they stay above water.
Gambit have come into this so fired up, you can just tell, like, you know, that was a lot heading into this game, like a lot of feelings, a lot of questions. You know, Na'Vi, were they a bit disappointed with not securing a straight path to the semis, obviously after falling to Liquid? Were we going to see them come back after these 4 days off, fired up and ready to go? Well, right now, it feels like Gambit have even more backing behind them in these games. They're off to a great start again. Brumic is dead in the pop dog, naded out of the round. And so this little eco, man, it's already shaping up to be a nice, clean one for Gambit. They even spot these B-side players. They can maybe rotate a man around now, and that's what we're going to see down in Connector. Shiro peeling off, leaving the rest of the gang to hold on to A. And so a 6th round for Gambit feels inevitable at this point in time, right? Not really much behind these pistols. A lot of information gained, a man advantage picked up. Gambit, they've got Na'Vi right where they want them.
On the chopping block. And with 1 smoke in this round, it's all about the B-bomb plant. Gambit have 2 here, they can afford to do so. Shiro playing at the back with the orb, watching upper again, and Hobbit has ramp under control. So no need to move, no need to panic if you're Gambit. Smoke's on upper as well. So might cut off the orb here. Gonna try and drop in. Shiro can kill them if they try that though. Is he wide enough? Is he ready? Oh, he doesn't see the jump. The drop comes through. Into oil they go. Hobbit with a double. Shiro picks one out of the sky. And through the smoke, Hobbit finds the final frag. It's Gambit onto 6 with no casualties in sight. Hobbit looking like a really solid B anchor as well. He's had great timings on pop flanks. He's yet to offer up any kills on Na'Vi waiting in the halls. And he's been locking down B with multi-kills round after round. So 6-2 for Gambit. And, you know, it's a 30-round game, right? I'm not going to ever call, especially a team like Na'Vi, out at this point, but it is certainly a worrying start considering how Overpass went as well. We need a round out of Na'Vi ASAP. Simple might just give it to us. Posted in main for a quick pick. The wallbang won't work. Every round, Gambit have had this team main control. Every round they've been, you know, taking position away from Na'Vi, smoking it off. It's really annoying for Na'Vi, who at this point are like forced to go B without this information, without this map control. And Gambit are always double inner as a result. This orb again posted on upper. Na'Vi walking into traps laid by Gambit.
Can't spell Shiro without misspelling hero. Here he is, holding on to upper. Hobbit down in the site as well. As you mentioned, this double hold allowed thanks to the info and main control that Gambit have. Shiro actually starts to peel back, but a missed shot from Simple, uncharacteristically so, leads to Shiro out-aiming him in the head-to-head yet again. Now holding on for the upper swing. With someone maybe about to make their debut from this position, Shiro could get rewarded handsomely. Na'Vi have gotten out through the ramp, and this isn't information that Gambit have just yet, but they're preemptively rotating around. They've got all their bodies here in this B-bomb site, and even though Shiro is blindsided by Boomich, they never knew about Hobbit, who's in with the first, make it a double, and now just Perfecto left, and this guy's in trouble.
No
Nafany, does he go for the knife? Is he going for it? Nah, he plays it safe. And he locks in a 7th round for Gambit.
Yeah, I think he wanted it.
He wanted it, but with Perfecto walking, he's like, well, I don't want to just bait my teammates to their death, so I'll take it. I'll take the kill.
You see them tuck, though. Like,
yeah, they were trying to give it to him.
They're like, yeah, man, the ball high, go for it. But yeah, you don't want Perfecto to just 180, go back to try and get a bomb plant, and then kill you doing so with your knife out. So it is a safe play, although it could have been a very spicy one instead. My, oh my. Na'Vi, another eco, perhaps as Gambit just continue to build the double lob. All Simple almost hits it that time around. It was only the scout. I don't even know if a headshot would kill through that wall. Very thick. Double lob for Gambit. Enters now on Ivy. He's been looking it down with a rifle, but the AWP might not treat him as well, as Electronic will find that deagle kill. And he doesn't even commit. He could have tried to push through, but thinking there's more players there. Well, now there are. Gambit have peeled out of their positions to try and cover Ivy, and Electronic can regroup with his team while their attention is diverted. Not for long, though. Shiro is clearing this spot out. So he'll know soon, with the help of Axar, that they don't have to worry about Ivy for long. Maybe it is that B play after all, even aggressing. They want to make sure it's not just Electronic, tucking and baiting for later in the round. No, this position is clear. And with this info, Shiro's even rotating an AWP out the map, getting it gone. No pickup for Na'Vi, but he will also be B with his team. Nafany has caused his rotation as well off the back of Axar's info. And this is one hell of a B stack, but it's all Na'Vi have been going in for. Simple spotted with a scout, and down ramp they go. It's only good for one for Nafany, but Shiro will pick up a single through the smoke. Simple, does hit the tag, and that will keep Shiro off the angle for now.
Oh, the head-to-head maybe going to happen again. Of course, this time though, being in a partial investment round for Na'Vi, you don't mind that, you're having to trade these kills 1 for 1. It's the fast wrap from Axile that's there just to lock the round in. They stroll over the finish line in this round. 8 now on the board for Gambit. Na'Vi in real danger of falling too far behind to even get back into this game. And we're only 11 rounds into the first half. Like, if you are going to turn this around, it needs to be soon. Like, there's still a potential that you could 7-8 split this half right down the middle. And with each round that ticks in favor of Gambit, with the money starting to build out of control, you've got to grind back into this game. There's no more freebies anymore at this point in time.
Yeah, and Na'Vi don't know how predictable they're being right now. The info that Gambit are getting in the city side is second to none, right? Main taking control almost every round. That time it's Ivy, it's Axel walking the entire way through Ivy to T-spawn up into inner B, and Na'Vi just get flanked on the post plant. They try and get the picks onto Shiro. They try and finish the job that Simple started, but Gambit just wait, and Axel comes in with 3 off a flanking ramp. It's just so suffocating. And again, look at main, locked down by the utility. Na'Vi aren't even taking it. For good reason, right? You know what may lurk on the other side. Nafany's waiting, and he could even get flashed in as well. Axel is above the train clearing corners, and now main conceded yet again for Na'Vi. They don't even try and go back to it. Surely it's not another B play. Na'Vi have been more than unsuccessful in converting these rounds. The only time they've gotten close has been Simple with that near 1-on-4. Shiro here again, why wouldn't he be? They've been smoking him off on upper from time to time. And that needs to continue. If Flamey just straight up peeks, he's a dead man walking.
Yeah, he switches from the back to the flash, actually. Flashing first, smoking later, and the peek is in. Shiro blind and was expecting that smoke to fall, so now Hobbit pressures really on, and Perfecto giving the openers over. There's that fast flank again, coming in through the back line. This time it's Nafany to deal with Electronic, but in a 3-on-4, do Gambit just write this round off and go for the save? With no kills presenting themselves into the bomb site, that might be the case. And so Na'Vi, they are onto this third. That 8-7 half is still possible, albeit unlikely, and it is going to feel like a real uphill battle for Na'Vi. The money is so put together for this Gambit squad that they're still buying next round. And even with guys like Axile, actually, I don't think he has the drop over yet. So him and Shiro having this much of a bank really going to come in handy looking into the future. Na'Vi are going to have to grind their way through these buys before they break the money of Gambit.
Yeah, and even though Gambit knew what was going on there, as they have a seemingly all CT side long right with that flank again, this time from Nafany, it's not enough on the B hold. Na'Vi finally get both entries from Perfecto, and Gambit get nothing out of it. No kills from Hobbit or Shiro, so it finally forces the save. And about time that Na'Vi get back on the board. As said, 3 times winning over Gambit historically, but we're here and now. We're in the present. And Gambit are giving us quite a gift. 8-3. Na'Vi back in with guns. And Gambit stick to the single orb this time around.
Oh, Shiro switching it up, right? He tried to change how he's playing B on the back of getting smoked off all the time. He hung around peeking wide at upper. This time he's repositioned completely down for a close ramp peak. Doesn't see anything right away, and they hear the scopes. And RV, they halt that play for the moment, and they just post up. They wait. Silence all across the map, and this time Gambit don't have that main control that they've been able to get round after round, so they don't have the early info either. That does mean that Shiro and Hobbit out on a bit of an island over here at B. Con Smoke throwing in. More utility now for Na'Vi, raining into this B bomb site, and the flash is good again, but this time it doesn't get them the opening kill onto Shiro, and he is able to drop a Molotov. That slows down this push. He even peeks with it, and he had a chance there for the opening kill. Perfecto runs through the Molotov and gets brought down very, very low in the process. Shiro's not giving over a fight, and Hobbit's just tucked on the bomb train. This is a bit of a disaster. Na'Vi, they were hinging on getting these gunfights, and they haven't been given any. Simple at least gets out of there with one, but a 2-on-4 now for him and Electronic as they fast drop down through Pop.
Yeah, 15 seconds to go. Na'Vi, they often find some sanctuary in this low time, but right now it might be the backstab for Axel. Oh, he stalls the kill, does take down Simple, fake on the plant, and Axel's there to dance around the bomb train. It's Gambit up to 9, and again, more reads, more rotations, more stacks that Na'Vi walk into. At this point, it's not surprising for Gambit. Na'Vi have only gone B in this map almost every single round, and so Nafany, who is playing inside of Pop, you mentioned they don't have that main control, well, they still had a good bit of info, and I think he hears footsteps or something because he just runs out of Pop and pre-rotates B. He's in the bomb site with Hobbit, and that forces Na'Vi out. They get nothing done on inner, and so Simple and Electronic, a troublesome twosome, they try and rotate outer, but Gambit haven't left the bomb site. They haven't fully rotated, so good patience from Axel to remain stagnant. And Gambit, I mean, there's nothing they can do wrong at this point, right? The only round Na'Vi have had, you know, in the last 7 has been that one double entry for Perfecto that wasn't traded. And Gambit just go, yeah, fine, you can have it. We've got everything else. We've got the money to show for it. 9-3. And Na'Vi, with every round that ticks away against them, it gets more and more scary as Katowice could be coming to a close for the previous year's victors. They don't want to go out with a whimper.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose this, right, you can see it now. Na'Vi can't be the best in the world. They're not even the best in their region. Those are the kind of comments that will get made. You just know it. You feel it. Oh, man, this utility into main is so punishing. For the first time as well, Na'Vi trying to fight here early on. They haven't really dealt with what Gambit have been dishing out in main. Flamey at least trades that pop kill, but Axile pushed up close in Olaf. Perfecto does get out past him, and Shiro has got no idea. Axile's now out of the round, and Shiro, oh, he's quick to react. Simple trades it at least. Hobbit's dead on the B push, and in the blink of an eye, it is all left on to just one man. Inter's tucked in at stopper. Simple, scoped on the angle. It's a pretty scary place to find yourself on the other side of this AWP. Na'Vi grinding to a temporary halt as they search for this last remaining man. They haven't seen him yet. Simple scoped up, sees the barrel as that smoke starts to fade. And so there's 4 on the door for Na'Vi.
Not the round I thought they would succeed in, right? Like, look at those positions for Gambit, the HEs that are banging Na'Vi out in main, doing a lot of damage. And, you know, Perfecto hits a perfect timing, but Simple getting this kill to Axel as a smoke fades actually kills Perfecto. It works out for Na'Vi, but Gambit weren't even considering that a player could have gotten through main. Shiro could have just been killed by Perfecto walking through Sandwich, but Simple trades it at least, and even finds that 3rd kill at the end of the round, so keeps Na'Vi afloat. On 4. And the T side, you know, 6 rounds, that's fine. It's not perfect, but it will do. Fast out main for Perfecto, and he gets punished by it. Flashed out, and Nafany was avoiding it, looking into the wall. Does get that opening kill. The nade for Boomage misses. And Nafany, with 4 points of health remaining, somehow darts back to safety. In the heavens as well. Good position for a one-and-done kill, right? Hoping that Na'Vi just never check it. I mean, Na'Vi, they're not even thinking about the A site. They're barely getting out. They didn't in the previous round. In that 3-on-1, they just tucked in, waiting for the kill to come to them. And while it did, it's not something you can always rely on. As they try and make a move out main, Gambit now fall back with this double inner setup that has won them so many rounds. Maybe not for long. Shiro leans towards the connector, and now he can rotate into the A site as smokes start to land.
Yeah, a lot of control in Ivy is given up, but that's to allow this late peek from Inters. Simple shuts him out and doesn't let the Ivy trade come in. Suddenly, Shiro is starting to feel a lot more pressure inside of A. And Navi haven't even committed yet. This bomb is going all the way back, along with Simple. Over towards main. Looking to come in late on the split. Hobbit posted up over here at CT side Ivy. Ollie into the connector. Gambit know that this is still shaping up to be an A play, and there's Shiro with the opener down into a 3-on-3. They spot Boomich and they deal with him quickly. Suddenly this has turned in favor of Gambit once again. While Simple's gotten close, he's blindsided by Nafany up in the heavens. And Flamey, with only 7 seconds, he needs all 3 kills or else the round is lost, and that's not going to happen. Gambit just aren't giving them over. Round ends and Flamey at least stays alive with this AK. Oh, does get tagged through E-Box, but admittedly for like 10 damage, so he's all right there. Regardless, you know, you hold on to the AK, that is not even a consolation prize for giving over a 10th round to Gambit.
Yeah, it looks like suicide for Nafany there, but he's trying to upgrade his gun, right? Stuck on a FAMAS. And a great round for him to get this opener, turn around like that to perfecto. And then, like I said, hide in heaven. The last place that Navi expected. They get all the room on A. They force Gambit out. Hobbit has good patience on Ivy to not peek into Electronic, who's waiting for him. And then, yeah, Nafany is the closer, the thing that forces the save. As the bomb gets dropped out in no man's land. Navi looking for 5 at the half. Simple might get gifted a kill here. Will Hobbit's patience again be key? Because he's waiting to peek off of Shiro's contact. But even if Shiro gets that contact, Simple ain't moving. So let's see how this plays out. Shiro with his shot. Hobbit might just peek, and there it is. He catches perfecto, and Shiro drops the second. The barrel's been spotted, and Hobbit looks to clear it up, but Shiro steals the kill away. Out-orping Simple yet again with a third, and B is not the answer for Navi. It may have taken them 15 rounds to see, but they can barely get into the bomb site. Not a point of damage done. And Electronic, with what would be one of the best rounds of the decade, is not going to fall into fruition. It's 11 versus 4. Gambit are looking like they're destroying Navi right now. Is there any hope? Is there any safety? Can Navi rely on anything as we go into the second half?
First time I came across Shiro was actually just scrolling to HLTV, probably working on an event, and they released another one of their One for the Future articles, which is basically about young, new, talented future prospects, so to speak. Very early on, it was obvious that he was the star player of the team, obviously being the AWPer.
If you look at his stats just from the play-ins and the main group stage, he's got over 60% with his AWP kills. I think over 200 plus kills, there's like 170 of them are just with the AWP. But that's not all about Shiro, right? He's not just hitting the shots with the big green. He's actually having a lot of impact in these clutch situations.
I think he has a good knack of knowing when he needs to be aggressive and when to go for aggressive plays, but also understanding when his team is in a good position already.
There's no rush. There's only 1 round left. If they lose this, we're done and dusted.
Shiro has found the first. He hears Kalinka's steps onto the site. There should be at least a trade. Shiro does find it a 2v2. Oh! Shiro!
So he's a player who you're going to see with the AWP in his hand more often than not.
There's a lot of people out there who probably regard him as the next Simple, right? The next big star from the CIS region.
And kicking it off
for the man advantage. Make that another. For Jopovic, Hero just going ham. 2 kills in response. He's looking for more. Seems to be aware of his opponent and gets him through the corner. He needs to close this alone, and he might just do it.
He's making that impact in 16, 14 close games, getting his boys across the line and doing it like it's easy. And that's a difficult thing to be doing against the top teams in the world. I think the online environment obviously takes away a chunk of the pressure, but for a lot of these guys, and Gambit and Shiro is no exception, this is still the biggest event that they've ever taken part of, LAN or online aside.
And that's going to put a lot of pressure on these A defenders to make it happen. Shiro, oh my word, 4 kills!
Shiro has what it takes to one day play at as high of a level as Simple does.
It's the quarterfinals of Katowice. Gambit a map up in this series already, and now on the map pick of NAVI, they stand 11-4 on the back of a ludicrously strong CT side. NAVI, time is running out, chances are running out to keep this dream alive. The defending champions of Katowice may be about to head out in the quarterfinals unless something changes here and now.
Something happens when you put Gambit in Poland, because boy, oh boy, are they showing up. Navi looking like a deer in headlights right now. Lost on that T side, B hit after B hit, and Shiro styling on them with the AWP, out-torping Simple right now, who at least was showing up in a big way back on Overpass. Huge on those opening kills. Well, Navi not had many in this map. Boomich 3 frags to his name, and this is not what we needed from Navi, but it might be all they've got. Fast out into the B side. There's a pick for Axel. Simple is tucked, but he's given away his position, and they're running right by him. Hobbit from above, and Gambit picking Navi apart yet again. It's all too familiar territory on the train yard. 5-on-2, and you may as well save.
Oh, it's not looking good, is it, Hugo? It's not looking good for Navi. You know, as mentioned, back on Overpass, where Gambit won a pistol, Navi were able to pick up a force buy. Maybe that happens again, but if it doesn't, their ability to get this game turned around is almost out the window. It's going to take something unreal.
Yeah, it'd be more impressive than the start that Gambit have here, but, you know, I'll believe it when I see it, Harry. Navi, they may have had tough times before, but this one might just be one step too far. And to think the form that Navi had coming into, you know, this tournament and what they've shown us across the last few days as well, a 10-match winning streak. Gambit may have been hot to trot, but right now, Navi going down like a lead balloon, and 12-4. Poor Simple as well, right? He has a great position for that B play. If they come out and try and flood the bomb site, he can kill everyone, but they run right by the lane. No one even goes to default. Gambit just aggress past Grey, and it's Hobbit who just kills him from above. Double scout for Navi. Gambit going fast, or at least Nafany is flashed out into the A site, and he spots one of those scouts as well, but mollied off his Flamey. Oh, Nafany gonna give it up. He knows that nades could land on his position, and in fact they do. Molotov sends him packing. Navi might not know that he escaped, and so they're still aware, they're still scared of what could be lurking on Olaf. Boomich is going to clear it out, or at least try to. Perfecto's pushed inner, which causes that rotate of Simple back to the yard.
Yeah, Simple also peeked the upper shelf and didn't see anyone. Now Flamey gets info that there are a lot of bodies in Ivy, and Electronic doubled up with him here. Trying to turn the tide is only good for the first kill. Him and Flamey both out of the round. Simple has at least rotated in with that scout to try and make a difference. And he does have Boomich backing him up, but Gambit on the back of getting these kills so early in the round and now sat in a 4-on-3, they know the pressure is all on Navi. And so they just slow it right down. They say to Navi, look, if you want the information, come and get the information. You are not going to like what you see if you go around this corner. Navi being given time to second guess themselves, to get worried about that vacant B bomb site. Hasn't triggered a rotation yet. Na'Vi are just stacking their chips. They're hedging their bets all over towards this A-bomb site. Simple holding on to Ivy is about to have a lot of players into his crosshair. He's just looked away, and in that timing, Axile's gotten out. Now he gets the info that one man is passed. Simple traded after the first. Boomich, not many kills in his repertoire. This would be the round to get them, but only one. And now just Perfecto does drop the bomb. They need the kill, and Perfecto gets away. He might have locked in the round. In fact, he has. It belongs to Na'Vi as they steal that one away. The force spy does pay dividends over to Na'Vi. Perfecto, great ability to just drop the bomb and get the hell out of there. Knows that that is how he wins the round.
Yeah, and Na'Vi, the balls to stick with that call on the yard, right? With that reset of Gambit where they just fall out and they hold and they wait for a peak, they get nothing. And you hope if you're Gambit there, that Na'Vi just over-rotate and read it wrong and go B. That's the intention, but Simple hits his scout shot. Boomich goes 1 for 1. And even though Boomich dies after 1, he does enough damage. The Perfecto body shots the planter. That's all he needs, a single bullet. And that may have saved Na'Vi, who may not have had the pistol, but do have a force spy. It's better than nothing. Simple back with a scope. It's not the orb, but it will do. He's shown us an entourage of armory in this map and series already, but Hobbit finding a pick out B. Will that bait them into Simple? No, not for Hobbit. He won't fall for it. Jumping, forcing a shot. And Simple gives it up. Doesn't want to hang around. Is still alone on this B bomb site. And if Gambit can turn the tides early, if Gambit can just shut down this rebuy from Na'Vi, keep the force buy wars going while trading rounds, that's a semi-final right there for Gambit. Na'Vi need to lock this one in from a man down as well. Simple, will he see them up? There's a lot of players here. He crosses the oil, not even jumping as well, so he won't give away any info to a player peeking, although they're not yet. 50 seconds, and even Boomich here to help.
Oh, that nade could be big. Lots of damage spread across Gambit. The spray for Simple has dealt with the first man in. Now more players try to tiptoe their way out upper, and Boomich is spammed out of the round. Simple, still a threat, still lurking over here towards B, but he won't be able to stop that bomb plant. Nafany's cancelled out, and Shiro's been spotted. For him and Inters, they are trapped in this site, fighting tooth and nail to hold on to this bomb plant. Simple, close on the wrap. Gets heard in the molly, and now Shiro's made aware. In the head-to-head, Simple's been struggling, but this time he deals with Shiro without breaking a sweat, and the defuse is in for Na'Vi. 6-12. A bomb plant at least gives a little more money over to Gambit. Maybe we can see that orb bought out that much sooner as a result. This is at least good to give us more of a series, right? To put more on the line for Na'Vi. It was really worrisome with that opening pistol going in favor of Gambit, that was just going to be Na'Vi squashed without really any stake in the second half at all. Now they've got something at least to try and hold on to.
Yeah, Gambit are even rebuying as well. So, you know, a sigh of relief for Na'Vi, but it won't last long. Will they be expecting an eco here? Gambit have the room to make this force buy happen, right? Double the round to their opponent, but if it does go the way of Na'Vi, well, that just picks up momentum. That just picks up steam and pace for this CT side comeback. And if there were ever a time, no time like the present, no time like the quarterfinals. Oh, Boomich in main as well. He's got good info. He could even catch Axel leaving if he wants to go one step further. Does Axel run? If he does, that's footsteps Boomich will hear. That's info that B is not clear, and Axel's made a bit of noise, so already Na'Vi moving 2 into the site. Simple needs a shot from the scout, but Perfecto from a range picks up Nafany on the bomb train. Hobbit chases down Simple, but he can't see the second man in, and Electronic provides cover to Perfecto as now Na'Vi have flooded this B bomb site. Plant is in, but the retake should be happening.
Yeah, Shiro with the scout. Damage done, and they're just using it to supplement these Deagles. Inters takes a second, but caught by the aggressing MP9s. Oh, it's down to the 1v1, and it's a low HP Boomich swung by Axile to put 13 on the board for Gambit. They're back building upon this lead again and bringing the money of Na'Vi to a screeching halt at this point in the game. Na'Vi are now faced with a horrible choice. You either force buy on the players that can afford it, right? You've got Simple, Electronic, and Flamey with enough cash to bring rifles into this round. Boomich and Perfecto don't. And this decision, it feels like it decides it all for Na'Vi, right? If this force they've elected to go for in round number 20 doesn't go their way, Gambit have likely paved the path into those semi-finals.
Yeah, what a way to do it as well, right? Like using a Na'Vi-esque force against them, rebuying on the T side. They could have taken one eco and just chilled out and just waited a bit. Come in with an orb, come in with 4 rifles. No. Gambit haven't got time for those shenanigans. And keeping up the force buy wars has kept Na'Vi on their knees. 2 pistols, 2 orgs, and an M4 are all Na'Vi can afford. Perfecto, he's looked good in this series as well. Him and Simple, top 2 back on overpass. Same story here. Boomich just had a bit of a resurgence, right? Doubling his kills in just the first 5 rounds of this half. But, you know, 3 kills on the T side, that was not enough. And Na'Vi are fighting what feels like a losing battle. Only they themselves can make it winnable. It all goes quiet again. That's a cheeky smoke. Enters. Oh, trades Dinks and gets out of there alive. The Molotov, I say alive, not far. He will die, but so will Electronic, who swings into the fire and flames.
Oh,
it even spreads, and Boomich will not get out with the gun, nor his life.
Oh, that is a disaster. That is the worst possible thing that could have happened in a round like this. Boomich tries to retrieve the gun. The molly spreads and finishes him off. Ooh. And now Na'Vi are really hot under the collar. They're a man down, up against 13 in a force buy, where if they lose it, their money is gone. It's all on the line, and Gambit can feel this one getting ever closer. Flamey taking this peek in a main, gets the info that there's one. Second man out is dropped by Flamey. He's having a peel down, but he loses Simple over at Ivy side. They know that they've got Flamey trapped here, and he's desperately calling for Perfecto to come and help him out. But Perfecto's on a solo journey in through those upper halls. Flamey is here alone and having to try and hold on to A as Gambit move in. They deal with Perfecto. They put a lot of faith in that flank finding something, and now it is just Flamey left. Bomb down. Overwhelming odds against him, and Shiro there to put 14 on the board for Gambit. No money for Na'Vi, and so Gambit feel it. They might be onto a winner. This was just brutal. Like, what? Boomich, why do you think that that was livable? Oh!
He got the M4. I mean, he picked it up, but he didn't go far with it, Harry. Yeah, I don't know. That's just... I think Na'Vi are probably in their heads at this point. I don't blame them, right? The calling on the T side was not there for Na'Vi. This map has not been great to them as of late, and we saw the results of that. Whatever their game plan was on the T side got read well by Gambit, and now Na'Vi Eco up against 14. This is it for Gambit. This is their bread and their butter. They're eating all 3 meals at once, chowing down on the CIS legends that are Na'Vi. And Gambit, they've got to be grinning from ear to ear. Just got to take their time to get it over the line. Slow and steady wins the race. Ollie's in pop. Simple's forced. He's had enough at this scoreline. Can barely blame him. Looking for the ladder. You can get good info from this position, right? You can spot players going up or down. Oh, he's got a lineup. Naughty, but nothing to be found from it. Oh, pushed into main. Boomich, okay. No Molotov this time around, and at least he gets out alive, but not with a gun that he so desired. Dink even onto Nafany. This is very naughty stuff, but it surely shouldn't convert around with USPs.
You'd hope not, right? But it's looking like it could happen. Electronic, Deegs, Hobbit, out of the round, and now down to 3 for Gambit. This was not a round that Na'Vi were ever meant to find success in. And so the fact they're in a 5-on-3 is already a great spot to be in. But now they finally lose Boomich. It's a very late trade from Shiro. Oh. Spotted back on the bomb train, and now Gambit make their move, tiptoeing their way up towards A. Flamey with the USP peek, can't quite find anything yet, and Axile deletes him. The bomb plant has to come in, and Simple's not able to deny it. The scout whittled down, and that's it. Gambit up to 15, onto a winner. one away from knocking Na'Vi out of the playoffs, from continuing on to those semi-finals. And Na'Vi left scratching their heads as to what went wrong.
Yeah, and this is the result that we maybe talked about that could have happened on Overpass, right? Na'Vi had the pistols and the momentum off the back of both of them, at least the 4 spies in the first, and that game was close as a result. Well, here in this map, Na'Vi have been, they've won the pistols and they get forced on, or they just lose it straight out and they lose the 4 spy wars eventually. So without that early start, look at the result. Shiro silencing Simple. And just like that, Gambit, they might be onto a winner. 5-on-4. 15-6, and it almost feels inevitable.
Yeah, they just look so composed, right? They know that this isn't a sprint to the finish. They can walk it over the line. They can keep it slow. They can get in the heads of Na'Vi. Gambit are not under any pressure, especially not being in a 5-on-4. Removing Simple as well, the heavy hitter of Na'Vi, cancelled out. And now from beyond the grave, he's got to put faith in his 4 teammates to keep the dream alive. Gambit picking up the pace and getting stuck into A. Boomich holding this close angle. Naded out, flashed as well. They seem very aware of this possibility, and Boomich trades places, will drop the bomb. That's information at least. There's an upper flank coming in, but this A site gets dismantled by Nafany, and suddenly there's 1 man left. Gambit, all that stands between them and sending Na'Vi home was perfecto. They walk it over the line. Gambit take it 2-0. Na'Vi, the defending champions, their run is cut short in the quarterfinals by Gambit.
Будет тяжело теперь. Иди прямо и налево. Прямо и налево иди. Он залез на крышу. Нет, беги налево максимально.